like premiering it, and I was strictly just critiquing it from a like I hate this fucking song.
Oh,
So I
right,
just
right, right.
started,
Yeah.
yeah, it had nothing because I guess with the context and whatnot, his response, I didn't. It was Lil TJ that really like kind of ruffled feathers with everybody, right? Like
Right.
he was the one
Yes.
who his like I would say lack of couth when it came to like he just didn't give a shit about any like if it seemed like Fabio was there to do a song. He had already did the
Right.
song. There was like some some tact there, but either way, it seemed pretty playful. I just when I saw it, I was just like, God damn, I don't like this at all.
Yeah.
And
No. I agree with that. Yeah. Go
yeah,
ahead.
and so I just attacked it based upon that, and like yeah, pretty much that, and the sassiness of their expressions during the video.
Yeah. Yeah.
Other than that,
Yeah. So yeah, that's why, like I said, if this is Fabio's personality coming out and they're not meaning it in a malicious way, which I think it
yeah,
is, right? Then to me, it's the perfect move, right? And this is like, especially when it comes to making music and stuff, this is why I always say stuff like, you know what I mean? If people would just follow my advice, then they could get on so quick, because there are so many things that are really just held up completely by marketing. As a matter of fact, Ack was talking about that with the Little Baby thing. He's like, Little Baby's album was terrible, but his label is so on point that he sold 150. You know what I mean? He's like, QC is an amazing label, because they're out there marketing and doing what needs to be done. You know what I mean? They capitalized off Thug coming out. Thugs, coming out was part of Little Baby's rollout. You know, so it's like when you're in business, that's what you have to do. Think about it. McDonald's has Halloween promotions, right? And then we have Christmas promotions. You know what I mean? And then we have New Year's promotions. Oh, and then we bring in the McRib. you know, you know what I mean? It's like there's always something to grab you. There's always something. You know what I mean? Something new. It's not just, oh, I make music and I'm so big, so you should listen to my music anyways. If not, F you. Like, no. You have to market and you have to, you know what I mean? You have to work it like a business. And so, even though little TJ seems to not get it, right? To me, I at least from what it looks like to me, right? They didn't think that this was going to be that big of a viral moment, but they went on there to have a viral moment. That's why they went on there, right? And so because it became a
yeah,
viral moment, as an artist, you're supposed to capitalize off it. You know what I mean? And I think he did it in the perfect way. Now the song is, yeah, it's a trash song, but he's like honestly, if this is almost too much game, but I'm trying to tell you, if I said right now, right, I'm gonna get on right now, right? I would make a song about every streamer in the game. I would make a song about their name. I'll make a song called A Song About Neon, a song about Aiden Ross, right? A song about Akademiks. I'll make a song about Akademiks every day. And you know what I mean? How quick would it take?
yeah,
You see where I'm at with it? That's I'm like, listen, I'm not stressing you guys, right? But anybody who really understands business, that's why I'm like, if Fabio is really like this, he'll last. He'll last if he knows how to capitalize like this. You know what I mean?
yeah,
If he can take something like this that look negative and spin it like I'm the real Max, I'm like, because now Max is like, play the song. My name is in the song. He's like, play it now, because now we gonna both get on. You know what I mean? And I was thinking about this earlier when I was watching, bro. DDG changed the game. Even though I don't like, I've never watched anything about DDG. I've never seen any of his content or heard any of his songs. Not more than 10 seconds of it. You know what I mean? I swear to God, not more than 10 seconds of it. But he changed the game. You know what I mean? Like, that dude Max got on with DDG from what I understand. But, there wasn't this strong connection between music and streaming like Ack was talking about in that video that I sent you earlier before DDG. You know what I mean? And so now, like I said, that guy Max is a product of DDG. And I mean, I'm learning about it from Ack, but I guess, you know what I mean, he's slated to be the next biggest in the game, as corny as he is, but it's because he is right in that vein of what we've been talking about for a long time.
I think kind of to piggyback on what you're saying, he is a intelligent creator, I would say, because I think anybody who can kind of like throw their ego to the side and like I think I was telling you earlier where like the only reason I had ever heard of him is because people were calling him smelly like consistently. I would go on Twitter and it was like I'm pretty sure he was in on the joke, but people would just like they'd be like kind of like in the room holding their nose, wait until he leaves to like let their breath out, just fucking just getting
Yeah.
and for whatever reason, he had transformed that, cut his hair, and blossom into this, you know, uh, I don't know, music authority. He's definitely taken everybody by storm. He created, I think he created a like a small niche that just didn't exist before, where it was like people are gonna come in and if they came on Aiden Ross's stream or one of those, it was just so structured and such a it's like fish out of water, and it looks like when you're watching Max and them, they're really just enjoying. They're kind of like almost having like a little kickback. Everybody's kind of posted up. Now the smoking thing is, I guess kind of what threw everybody off. Um,
Right. Yeah,
that's
which
a
is
that's a whole different, yeah.
yeah. I mean, it is, but again, I am, I guess, maybe for once, not on the side of the rappers, and it's not a New York thing, I promise, but, even though obviously, I probably wouldn't stay somewhere that they didn't want me to smoke, especially if they said smoke outside and we're in New York, it's 0 degrees outside. You lost your mind. You know what I mean? Nobody's going outside to smoke. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell? But so I understand them leaving, but I don't know, making a big deal about it seemed, weird until Ack explained, their little beef situation. Did you see that where he explained what was actually
No,
going
I
on and
didn't
why
see
they were
it.
so weird? Yeah, so long like just to keep it quick, one of the dudes who was already there um used to be cool with Lil TJ. Like they actually came up together, like some of their early stuff. And then that that guy who was there, who used to be cool with TJ, went on tour with somebody who shot Lil TJ. Like he actually got shot by a group of people that the dude he used to hang out with went on tour with last year. And so that's like, that was the main thing going on behind the scenes that, like obviously Max probably didn't know, but and I don't know what type of nigga Fivio is, but how New York niggas is. I guess Fivio knew, and he's the one that invited, both of them knowing what the situation was, so I don't know. He seems like a clout chasing type of guy. Like I don't know. Look, I don't listen to any of his music. I only heard him on Kanye's album. So
That's
but
exactly what I said in the vid in my response. Like, this is the last time I heard of him was Kanye, and he pops up now, and like smart enough, he's just capitalizing on it. I think we had pretty much the same sentiment. It was like opportunity strikes, you kind of just have to run with it. Um,
right. And although again it's trash, right? But like I said, I'm looking from a business standpoint. I'm like, if this is how his mind moves, oh, he'll be here. You know what I mean? Because it's almost like some 50 shit what he's doing right now. You know what I mean?
Honestly,
Like,
it's trash in the same regard that like Ice Spice is trash to me, where it's like I'm just not with the bop. Like the timing of it is just not for me. It's like it's almost
right.
UK drill. It's almost like I
It
wish I
is
could
UK
find,
drill. Dude, New York people are
because
so funny, bro. It's so hilarious watching Act. Literally, like they called Act to press him about the conversation about the fires. He instantly is like, "Dog, Cali music is not relevant, and y'all be acting like because Kendrick made one song, y'all on top now." This nigga's like, bro, this nigga, they're like, bro, this nigga Dot is a cold nigga, boy. They're like, this nigga Kendrick is a cold nigga. He's like, look at what he got you doing, bro. Look at you disrespected niggas who lost their house in a fire because you mad about Kendrick and Cali is getting behind him and celebrating that. And so now we lame and we think we all this. It's like this is the most New York thing ever. It literally is the most. Hey, y'all ain't even that tight over there. hey, y'all over there celebrating. Hey, y'all just hating. Straight, it's the most New York hater shit of all time, dog. And I love it. I love that he called in to AD and them niggas, thinking that he was finna. No, he got all drama. It looked like when act midway through the conversation, it looked like Samuel Jackson saving Ryan Reynolds and a hitman's bodyguard. You feel me? Just coming through, just all drama. You know what I mean?
I don't know why they think they can call into that room and ever like win a conversation. It's that damn meme where like I want to say National Geographic, but I know that's fucking flagrant. It was like the History Channel went in and like recorded these. It's a classic meme, man. They recorded these random gangs and like it just cuts to them, the whole gang just jumping, beating the shit out of a new recruit. It's like it's that every time somebody calls in. I mean, you're not gonna fucking win. You're immediately gonna. Oh, go ahead.
Did you see that guy that went to one? I don't know if it was Old Block, but it's one of the famous Chicago hoods. And, you know, a lot of people go there and do stuff, but of course, you know, sometimes they get rowdy. One of the dudes, it was a dude from New York who went over there, and you know, it's like he didn't really have no beef. He was just trying to like film and stuff, and they ended up robbing him. Did you see that?
No, but I can imagine it now.
Yeah, you know, and like I said, it was just one of them things where it's like he was like, "Yeah, bro, you know, I'm just, you know, Oblak, bro. What? I'm just, you know, trying to film. You know what I mean? Boom, boom." And he was like, you know, like you know, they was cool for a minute. Then after he was like, so what? Like he's like, so what you doing over here, bro? You know what I mean? He's like, you know what I mean? I'm just, you know, I'm from New York, bro. And he's like, you know what I mean? He's like, you got a channel and shit? You know, he's like, yeah. He's like, all right, well, give me that bag, bro. He's like, what? He's like, yeah, come about that bag, bro. You know what I mean? And I was like, of course, it seems crazy, right? But this is what you guys gotta. I'm like, to me, right? I'm like, dog, you're over here, right, trying to film us like we're like it's a zoo and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Think about it. It's like, oh, like you're trying to make content, right, and make money off filming me. That's what you're over here doing, right? Okay, fine. So I need something off you. What? And like I said, it just seems barbaric. And I just went through this whole thing in a rap debate. But I'm like, listen, if you are a European, all right, you cannot open your mouth about barbarism, about violence, about stealing stuff from people. No. You know what I mean? And you know me, it's like, I'm not the non-violent guy, all right? But if we're going to, like, let's keep it apples to apples, though, all right? Don't call Black Americans violent because they don't let you come steal their shit. That's crazy. You know what I mean? Or they won't let me steal from them. They're violent. What? He won't let me film him. I got a camera in his face trying to make money off his likeness at no, you know, price to him. And just because he wants to, because he's going to tax me for that directly. You know what I mean? He's like, no, I'm not going to hopefully get paid, right? You're not hopefully getting me on camera. No, you're getting me on camera. So I'm getting that bag. You feel me? Give me the bag, bro.
I mean, I couldn't even imagine being in like a warlike state of mind and I've got like a tourist coming up to me trying to like just straight joy. The last thing you want is joy when you're like sitting there, you got the, you know,
yeah,
you got it tucked.
Yeah, no, but again, like I said, it was one of them. It's a block that a lot of people go to, but usually when they're filming it, it's like some real business there going on. So there's some familiar faces there, and it's like these niggas is sitting there in hoodies, bro. What are you expecting to find over there? You know, it's like this is ignorance. Anyway, so yeah, but yeah, no, Ack is the most passive aggressive human being on the planet. You know what I mean? It's like I said with the Jay-Z thing, he like, I don't want no problems with Rock Nation. You know what I mean? That's his way of saying I want problems. You know what I mean? That's his way of saying like I don't care. Oh, I don't want no problems. Because man, if they gonna threaten, you know what I mean? If they gonna, it's like he's finding a slick way, a passive aggressive way to keep talking about him and keep putting their business out there, but he's making it entertaining. You know what I mean? It's like that's all that LeBron Drake shit was, bro. It's like you know, everybody is like, because he's supposed to be, like, whether he admits it or not, he's heard that Drake goes on everybody else's show and not his. He's definitely hurt by that. You feel me? Drake has been on XQC. Drake went on Elliot Wilson. You know what I mean? This nigga Drake will go everywhere but to act. The one nigga, the president of his fan club, he will not show up, right? And of course, Ack has heard about that, even though he says he's not. And so, when the email leaks come out, like, did you see that whole saga, the Chris Blake Griffin thing?
So I saw it, but there was like, it's not that there was a question, but I couldn't tell what was real and what wasn't. Like, to me, it was like some stuff was fake, some stuff was real.
It sounded
or
like
it started real, and
it sounded like somebody's closet boyfriend, right? Trying to tell half the story and make it seem like they weren't in a relationship. We don't got to talk too much about that. You know what I mean? Because, of course, that's a sensitive topic, but you know what I mean? Like, he wants me to believe that Stephon Diggs, a man who had never had a sexual relationship with him before that, right, decided to whisper in his ear, come up to my room and lick his ear. Right. He went from zero to licking his ear. That's what he wants me to believe. Stephon Diggs, the dude who was having sex with Cardi B while she was pregnant with Offset's baby. Admitted by Cardi B.
Bruh, I'm sorry to cut you off about this, and we'll get back to this.
No,
but
go ahead.
Just reminded me of something, and I've been wanting to talk to you about this for a long time because I couldn't believe this motherfucker was saying it out loud and just cavalierly. Kurt Metzger, you know who Kurt Metzger is, right?
Of course.
Yeah. So we don't have to. I don't remember what podcast he was on or where he was speaking, but he gets on and immediately starts to tell a story about a famous NBA player, and not just any famous NBA player, fucking Tim Duncan. And I don't see, this is the thing that where I'm I don't know if he's trolling.
Okay,
I don't know if this was a real
story.
Keep
going. What did Tim do? What not the Tiger Woods. Don't tell me
bro. I'll give you the short summation of it because I don't want to ruin Kurt's story, but basically Kurt says that Tim Duncan brushed up on him and made a pass at Kurt Metzger.
Okay.
And that he was openly making a pass at him in front of his teammates, and so much so that they the people he was around knew that that's just Tim.
I don't believe Kurt Metzger. I don't believe.
No, that's why I'm thinking it's got to be like a troll.
Bro, fuck Kurt Metzger. I'm sorry, YouTube, but
he was so serious when he said it, though.
Let me see if Tim Duncan is married. If he's not married, then I'll believe it.
I don't want to put that smut on his name. It's just what Kurt said.
Well, they're divorced now, but Tim was married. Okay. That's suspicious, Tim. Tim, look. Tim.
And I started thinking back on all his outfit choices and just certain certain parts of his demeanor, and things he would do to people on the court. I was like, bro, it's rough. It was a hard reality to even. I can't even say the words.
Yeah, well, Tim has 2 kids. You know what I mean. So I don't want to. Listen, Kurt. Kurt is a comedian. Okay, all right. Kurt is a comedian, and that's a funny story. Comedians lie. All right. So
I forget that half of Chappelle's whole stand-up bit is just complete fabrications.
It's we gotta remember, it's not illegal to lie. You know what I mean? It's I
gotta get better at it.
Right. Hey, look, especially man, like a mother. I actually just learned how to lie recently, but I like when Robbie the Fire was talking about he was watching Colin Quinn's special, and Colin Quinn was like, "Hey, when people always you're being a hypocrite, you're being a hypocrite." He's like, "Yeah, I am. What? It's not illegal. I'm being a hypocrite. Fuck it." He's like, "Yeah, I'm lying. So what? It's not illegal." Sue me. But yeah, no, yeah, like hopefully Kurt Metzger is lying. But yeah, so Ack is the most passive aggressive man ever. You know, he's the president of the Drake fan club, and you know he's supposed to be the one that Drake talks to. And so when that whole Chris Chris Blake Griffin thing, and the dude looks like Blake Griffin, so I don't know if his name is actually Blake Griffin. I haven't figured that out yet. I swear to God. But he's apparently married with kids too. But you know, like you know how that goes. He's just like he says stuff like when he talks about Drake, he's like, don't get me wrong, like, and I love Drake too. Like, I love the boy. I love the boy. I'm like, I've heard enough. Yeah, you know what I mean? I was like, all right, man, calm down. All right, we get it.
Yeah.
You guys have sexual relations, you know what I mean? Or you want to have sexual relations. Yeah, like Stephon Diggs didn't go from having 0 relationships with you to licking your ear. All right. You guys were already messing around. Okay. You were already messing around. Something else happened that you're not telling us. All right. Because that guy his story, look, the story didn't make sense. Obviously, there were some truths in there, but he left out all the parts where he was being a homosexual on purpose. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? There's a lot of homosexual activity going on around him. He's a stylist, right? And he literally says, he's like, and I'm really like a personal image, you know what I mean? And overall brand consultant. It's like a stylist, but way more personal. You know what I mean? It's just, I'm way more personal than a stylist. Literally just like that. Like, brother, all right, man, we get it. Okay, we get it. All right, you're his boyfriend. Okay, just tell us the story. I mean, he would go into intimate detail about, like, just preluding the story about, like, and then yeah, because I know him from this, and because he's this type of person, just psychoanalyzing the dog shit out of these niggas, like they're his boyfriends. You know what I mean? Like a woman would do her boyfriend. No other explanation, you know what I mean? And I just think that sometimes, I think that sometimes he thinks that, you know, when he gets sad, that's how he talked about Javonte Davis and Drake and everybody, you know what I mean? So it's like, all right. Anyways, so the Chris Tyson fucking DM comes out because the Stephon Diggs situation. So he's trying to ask Drake for help, and Drake is telling him no, right? And so he's upset because I guess Drake and them has been his mentor since he was 17, right? He used to travel around with them, right, and work for Under Armour at 17, right, doing brand management with these artists at 17. I'm like, I don't have to explain anything. You know what I mean? Like, come on now. Right, I don't have to explain anything. And so he's like, yeah, Drake has been my mentor. I looked up to them and they taught me everything. You know, the boy. You know what I mean? We're so close. And, you know what I mean? I would stay at their house right. And so he's like, you know, I was so hurt. He deleted the DMs, right? Ack said, you know what I mean? These DMs are fake. Said the boy, right? I guess he asked Drake. And when he detailed the conversation, right, Drake was slick. Drake didn't necessarily say it was fake. Right? Drake is like, yeah, you know what I mean? He's clout chasing. You know what I mean? It's like he's fabricating the story. He didn't say the DMs was fake. You know what I mean? Drake set this nigga Ack up. Yes. And it's Ack's fault though. Right? So he came out and said it's fake. And Drake never said it was fake. And so now, you know what I mean? And that was in the midst of him already on vacation. So it looked weird with this hiatus, although he was in Jamaica doing an interview with who just got out of jail? His favorite artist, Vybz Kartel. So he was doing an interview with Vybz Kartel. So that makes sense, right? You know what I mean? I'm like, if he was doing that, then of course, you know, you want to take time off of that. And so in the midst of all that, you know, that tweet thing happened. So when he came back, you know, everybody's on his head. Like they called him from No Jumper. You feel me? Like they called him from No Jumper. Like, bro, everybody's saying you lost your credibility. You know what I mean? Like Drake ruined your career with this. You know, of course, it's not that serious, but you know what I mean? It's like, you know, Ack don't take L's well. He does not take L's. No. You know what I mean? And so, you know, it's like, look, Drake, you did that to me. Now I'm going to do this to you. Yeah, that's it. You know what I mean? Look. He's like, look, the DM never said that LeBron was cheating. The lyrics say LeBron was cheating. No. Look at these lyrics right here. Look. Yeah. He's like, look, And I'm not saying I know for sure. I'm just saying that women have told me for sure. And they're begging me to come on my show. I'm not saying it's real. I understand that there's tons of women begging me to come on my show and expose LeBron, and I'm not doing it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's real. I'm just saying that everybody's known this for 10 years. Everybody knows. I'm not saying it's real. I'm just saying that everybody knows, and they all want to come on my show and tell me. That's it. You know what I mean? You know, Happy New Year, Drake. You know what I mean? You guys handle that. Ha. That's just like, bro, it's a fucked up nigga right here, bro. It's a fucked up nigga.
That is fucking sick. Yeah, no, I couldn't even imagine. They were saying LeBron was sleeping hella suspect at his house. I don't know. Do you think this affects LeBron? Like, do you think he has to, like, is he walking around, gingerly at home, or is he just like, man, that's bullshit?
That, you know, it all depends. You know, it all depends. I think he'll be walking around gingerly in public for sure, because Ak has a voice. There's no way. You know what I mean? And the LeBron army is coming after him. He's like, he literally said, I didn't know LeBron had a bigger fan base than Drake. I'm like, nigga, you are drunk, dog. Like, I was, dog, no bullshit, bro. No bullshit. I came across a TikTok channel just randomly scrolling where these niggas were on there just you know what I mean? Just slurping LeBron. Pause. They're just like, hey, bro, like on some, it was like a Chuck Norris thing. Like, I bet you LeBron could jump in the water and not get wet. It was that type of thing, right? And every now and then, you know what I mean? Like an old guy would call in, and anybody who said anything that wasn't LeBron was the best, they instantly kick him. So it's like, in a way, I respect it. You know what I mean? I'm like, they're like, so I call in. I'm like, hey, what's up? I just want to call in. You know, me to say something about LeBron. They're like, what you got? I'm like, I just want to say, man, LeBron is trash. I'm like, man, LeBron is trash. You know, 3 of his championships are really like, oh, yeah, get him out of here. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, bro, you don't even know, bro. Like, these young dudes, like, LeBron is a Jordan. You know what I mean? Like, they, like, the way the old cats talk about Jordan, that's LeBron. And I literally said that, you know, in the rap debate. I'm like, bro, you know what I mean? Like, LeBron is actually the most famous Black American, if we're being real. You know what I mean? Like, he's probably the most famous Black American in the world right now. And then there's Jordan. You know what I mean? Like, gangsters out here don't get famous like that. You know what I mean? Like, maybe Snoop, but that's okay, Snoop. Okay, you got us there. All right. But that's the one, though. Just Snoop, okay? And Snoop is doing Martha Stewart commercials, okay? So that don't count.
Bro, I'm trying to think of who said Snoop was the most famous person in the world, and the whole room was like, bro,
it might have been me,
special.
Bro. It might have been me, bro, because I say that from time to time. And, you know, Rory said that, too, actually on Joe Budden's show one time. But the reason why I remember him saying it is because I say it all the time. Because I remember one time, you know, when I was a kid, just asking my mom random questions. I asked my mom who she thought the best rapper was. And she's like, I mean, Snoop Dogg. And I'm like, if you ask every old person who they know, they all know Snoop Dogg. And so in my assessment, I'm like, I think Snoop Dogg is the most famous rapper ever. Like, as far as just branding, he's the most well-known, biggest name in rap. I think bigger than any other name, Snoop Dogg. And then I've heard some other people confirm that. Like, when I say that to certain people, and they think about it, like, yeah, like I think that if your grandma knows who Snoop Dogg is, your grandma knows the name Snoop Dogg. You know what I mean? The little kid knows the name Snoop Dogg. You know what I mean? The name Drake, the name 50 Cent, the name Jay-Z, it varies, you know what I mean, from place to place. I don't think Snoop Dogg varies. I think everybody can, you know what I mean? And now he's doing the World Cup now, right? Isn't he hosting the World Cup? He did the Olympics.
Yeah, no, we were watching something earlier, and a T-Mobile commercial pops up and Snoop Dogg appears. It's like you can't get away from him. It's incredible.
Yeah. But honestly, but speaking of LA and gangster stuff though, man, bro, isn't it crazy that I literally, like, I told you about this, about not even just told you about, but I'm like, I said that about Loose Cannon right before that thing happened. I'm like, bro, Adam hooking up with Loose Cannon is gonna be like, not, you know what I mean? It's like just not something that is, I don't want to say it's not gonna end well, but I'm like, I don't think I said that, but I'm like, Loose Cannon's not one of those guys that you just play around, you know what I mean, and like make content on. You know what I mean? It's like at some point there's going to be a situation, and it's not going to go well.
You know what's interesting about No Jumper is they kind of cycle through like, they've got their villain of the week, or gangster of the month. Crip Mac was holding that title for a long time.
Right, and then he
And
went
then
back to jail.
yeah, he's out of the mix. I think 4 Extra is kind of like in the
Four
lead
extra,
right now. Is it?
4 Extra is the one. The thing about it is like after the Crip Max, it's gonna be after the situation with Loose Cannon. This nigga goes to 4X Hood the next day. Think about it. It's like this nigga is, bro. And then when Brick, even though shout out Brick Baby, because Brick Baby understands that his content at a certain level, and Wack understands that his content at a certain level. Loose Cannon is not doing content. All right, listen. I'm trying to tell you. All right, listen. You know what's funny, dude? Like I swear to God, like my brother has been around, like his niggas so long that these niggas look dead on each other. You know what I mean? I mean, like I could show you a picture of somebody that's not related to my brother, and these niggas look dead on each other. You feel me? And they both look like Loose Cannon. Think about what I'm saying. They look like him. They have the same like build. You know what I mean? It's just like, nigga, this is this type of guy. You know what I mean? I'm talking about the guy that I'm telling you about. My brother has a job and stuff, right? He's not, you know what I mean, in the hood activities anymore. But his homie that look exactly like him, this nigga is with nigga right now. This nigga with the shit. You look at this nigga on Facebook. This nigga got this nigga blue ragged up, everything, nigga. You know what I mean? Right now, and he look like Loose Cannon. And he talk like that. They got the same cadence and everything. They're not, you know what I mean? Like, look, all right, nigga. Like even like the way he be like pausing. That's the way they pause.
Yeah.
Like my brother's home. Like when my brother got married, he was over there and shit. You know what I mean? Like selling yay at the shit. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? We out there chopping it up with him, and niggas just coming through, and he, you know what I mean? So that nigga he's like, yeah, man. See these niggas, bro? He's like, these niggas are soft as Pop-Tarts, nigga. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean? It's like that, bro. These niggas soft as Pop-Tarts, nigga. You know what I mean? And you wait for him to finish the sentence, and he's like, that's it. You know what I mean? It's like, all right. I swear to God. And you know what I mean? That's why I'm like, when I hear this nigga Loose Cannon talk, and it sound like he a little slow, I'm like, all right, nigga. You feel me? You niggas, look. Anyway,
man. That's a couple of them, honestly. It's funny you brought him up in particular, because I wanted to, not that I wanted to dive into it. I just like, it's hard not to dive into, like, get caught up in whatever No Jumper's bullshit of the week is.
Adam is a great producer. Adam is a great producer.
Yeah, man. I get on Twitter or X, whatever. I refuse to call it that. Anyways, I get on Twitter, and Adam is a terrible actor. So he's leading Wax Girl into like a broom closet. Did you see this?
No, I refuse to watch that. I refuse to watch it, bro. I refuse. Nope.
But it hurt my feelings because
yeah, mine too.
Yeah, I just thought he was like better than that. Like to go down. Like I didn't think Wack needed. No, Wack. I thought.
Wack. Okay.
Yeah.
See,
I
this
thought
is the thing.
I thought.
Well, so I'm gonna give Wack only this benefit of the doubt. Wack is saying that Adam, did that behind his back because of the fight thing, and Wack is too slippery. You feel me? For him to did you watch the stream when they talked about the fight?
Like, yeah. So the response directly after.
Yeah, when they streamed together.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you see how slippery this nigga Wack was? Wack was turning that shit right on Adam, like, hey, you the one that told me somebody's outside. I was rolling, dude. I'm like, Wack is like as good as Joe. He's almost as good as Joe. You know what I mean? With the on camera, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's getting up there where he's like, he knows how to calm down. He knows how to not take things personally. He knows how to spin things into a joke now. You know what I mean? It's like he's really starting to come into you know what I mean? Oh
And on
man,
top of that, he had his whole script pre-planned. He had the phone calls, he had the text messages, he had
bro.
everything like ready to.
I was like, dude, Whack is so funny. You know what I mean? And so I like at least the way he's painting it is that Adam did that just kind of as like a, you know what I mean? Like Whack is so big that it's like you can't get him out the building, you know what I mean? Because of course, you know, he has a contract now. And then it's like, you know, there are certain things that you need him for in LA. You know, like of course, you know, this is kind of public, you know, notice now, but you know, that's been Drake's muscle in LA for a long time. It's why Whack talks like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You know, loose and on him. You know what I mean? It's like you know, Luke. You know, Loose has a song with Drake, right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. How you think that happened? You know what I mean? Because when Drake is in town, you already, yeah. It does say it's not a game with some people out here. You know what I mean? It's like, what's the worst gonna happen? Well, you gonna go to jail? Okay. You think he cares about that? All right.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. It's gonna take the police at least 10 minutes to get here. A lot can happen in that time. You know what I mean? So people don't play with loose cannon out here, and people like that. You know what I mean? Some people do, but you know what time they on. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, there's some, but it's the they look. Matter of fact, even shout out ODM Slim. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
ODM Slim. You know him. You know he was going at it with them for a minute, and ODM Slim will get on there and shut up, Whack, you BA. You know what I mean? Like, and not that he wasn't like holding his chest against Loose. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, he was not like he was saying, he like, nigga, if y'all would have rolled up here, I would have sprayed the scene. You know, he like, ODM Slim is funny as he like, nigga, if y'all would have killed, I would have sprayed the scene, nigga. I would have sprayed the scene. You know, so it's like it's not that he was backing down or nothing, but it's a different posture when you're having a conversation with Loose. Cause he'll really come see you. You know what I mean? He'll really come see you like a motherfucker, you know, so you know, anyways. Bro, honestly, I'm like, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, oof. I'm like, this one is a little bit too real. This one might get too real for Adam. You know, I don't know if
yeah,
Adam is about that. You know what I mean? Because niggas don't know. Like, again, you know, they don't know when some people are playing and some people aren't. That's why I say I respect Wack so much now. Because, and I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. Because I'm like, I think that maybe he like, you know what? I could trip on this. You know what I mean? But then, like, you know, like, you know, he's like, you know, he's in a great situation. You know what I mean? So I think that
yeah,
I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt to say that they did it behind his back and he's letting it go just because, like I said, he did cause a lot of issues with that situation. Even though he slipped out of it, you know what I mean? It's like, dog, like you guys stripped the nigga on camera. Like, you know what I mean? Like some people, and I know you didn't do it, Whack. It was loose in them, but regardless, you was right there, and so, like, you know, I've heard some people say that that's the worst footage that they ever seen as far as like game. I'm like, yeah, it kind of is. I'm like, bro, think about it, because even DJ, you know, well, not even DJ, but you know, Act was like, bro, I didn't think that niggas was serious when they talk about, you know, gamers be stripping people. I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm like, bro, you don't listen, man. You don't have to be a game member to strip somebody out here. You feel me? But like, you talk to the wrong person the wrong way, for real. You know what I mean? I'm like, boy, listen, I'm not listen. Do you have no idea how close you are to death right now, bro? So just take everything you got off and walk away, bro. You feel me? I'm just saying, bro. Like some niggas, they in lieu of taking your life, I'm gonna take everything off you. You know what I mean? Like this is since the '70s out here. All right. I don't know.
I don't know how people could fathom that shit is not real or is not like attainable in any form of fashion. I mean, they're like 6 blocks away from you at any time. Anywhere you go, you're like connected to some form of like underworld. It's right there.
You know, and look, and especially, of course, you know, places like LA, places like Oakland. I'm like, look, man, and this was accented today. Listen to that Akademiks conversation, right? Because the same conversation that they're having with Ak was a conversation that I'm having with Vince and the Europeans, right? And like, listen, here in America, we do not talk shit about other people unless, you know, for jokingly, yes, right? But we're not like, oh my God, these countries are so bad. You know what I mean? Like, not the real Americans. You know what I mean? It's like, if anything, like we show love to everybody. But it's also like that with the rest of the country in California somehow. You know what I mean? Where it's like maybe just it's just a music thing. I don't know, but like Ak is like, oh, why is Cali y'all like literally the conversation is y'all not even on top. Atlanta's running it right now. And I'm like, why are you caping for it? Why are you so mad about niggas over here in Cali being happy or excited? Like we never talk down on any other region. You got Cali, no. And here in Cali, we mess with and like I was thinking about it, maybe it's because everybody has to come through here, but we don't have to go through other places for the music business or the entertainment industry. Maybe Atlanta, but in reality, no. We really don't have to leave California to you know what I mean? Like think about Oakland, people don't have to leave Oakland. They don't have to leave the Bay Area. I was thinking about that. I'm like, where is I Am Sue? Like, I'm so confused. And the last thing I want to say too, because we can move on from this. Ak also, not only was he getting shut down and just obliterated, trying to reason with the West Coast community guys, but did he expose how little he really knows about rap? You know what I mean? Like he reminded us through that conversation that he is just a Twitch guy, because he gonna say it because he had to calm himself down after a while, because when he started getting too hyped, he could talk as fast as people out here, and he just started saying anything now. You know what I mean? He had to retract some stuff, because he was just like, what are you talking about? He's like, I can name 5 rappers out here that rap better than everybody in California besides Kendrick. They like, name them. He like, A Boogie, Cardi B. This is what Ak said. Nicki Minaj. This is what your boy said. That's I'm like, see, Ak, take a step back, Ak. They got you on full tilt right now. You gonna say A Boogie rap better than everybody? A Boogie, Tyson. I'm like, nigga, I Am Sue raps better than the whole state of New York. I'm like, where is I Am Sue? What happened to him? But he's probably just getting so much money doing shows in Oakland that it's like, what? Like, I can imagine I Am Sue getting $10,000 a night to do a show in Oakland. Of course, he should be getting at least 70 by now. You know what I mean? As he's 50. So imagine you getting 70 grand a night to do a show in Oakland. Well, I'm gonna do what, 10 grand in Atlanta? No. E40 probably gets $500,000 in the Bay Area. You know what I mean?
I think it's funny too, because like trying to equate like whatever local, fuck ass town they got going to California is like, we're our own entity. We can survive on our own without needing to touch these other locales.
And these places cannot survive without coming out here.
Yeah.
Not bad.
No, you're fine. I mean, that's pretty much what I was getting to. I mean, it's just it is like kind of cope at the end of the day. Like it's odd because every other I don't know. Maybe we just grew up like kind of blessed, but everywhere I've ever been to, every other state reps, like if you meet a Texan, they're going to tell you they're from fucking Texas at least 30 times.
Absolutely.
They're going to explain to you why Texas is better.
Yeah.
I never went anywhere telling people about how good California was.
Nope.
I never had to. It's got its own branding.
The reputation precedes it. Yeah, the reputation precedes itself.
Sick. Even so much that apparently I have a California accent, and I didn't even know that was like a thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's actually, I was thinking about that today too, when this conversation came out. I'm like, the Cali accent, because a lot of people out here really are from like Chicago or the South, you know what I mean, like where their families are from and stuff. I'm like, it is almost like a like an updated Southern, like it's literally like closer to Texas, if you will, with like the tiny bit of draw in it, but it's very like, proper, and like, it's like the West Coasty, proper English mixed with like a tiny bit of Southern in it a little bit. It's very, very unique, Even and I, of course, I didn't know this until I started traveling out of state, but even like the idea of a Cali guys, it's like there's just a reputation that precedes us. And remember when I went to Florida, I said you could see it in the homeless people, right? Like, Remember, like in Florida, the homeless people, you don't even see them. You know what I mean? Like they're completely out the way. You know what I mean? It's like they wouldn't dare. You know what I mean? In California, these motherfuckers come shit on your roof, or on the roof of your car. They don't care. Like, and we don't care. That's not like you listen. Like at some point, try to make it through that conversation where At called in to dude. You're gonna see. You're gonna be like, dude, this is exactly what it is in real life. Exactly what it is. If you was hanging out with these guys in real life, this is what it is. You would literally be quiet 99% of the time if you were in a room with them. Yeah. Right? Yes, exactly. You know what I mean? Not you. I'm just saying, like, you know, the nigga, you know, Act. You know what I mean? It's like in that situation, he has to be quiet. You know, he has to just be all the way quiet. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers be touching his chest, like, hey, bro. You know what I mean? It's like, you already know how it is, bro. You're out here, bro. Niggas is look. It's just a different type of energy, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Ak has. I think he has. I think what everybody at his level kind of like falls victim to is just like he's got money and kind of gets a little bit of the untouchables quite a bit. I see Flacco kind of going into it right now.
Yeah, Flacco's starting to get it a little bit. I think Cameron and Mace call it the Gary Coleman. Yeah, they got the Gary Coleman syndrome. You feel me? Where, and you know, we can talk about that too, bro. Because you know, I'm glad that I finally found a reason to listen to it. But bro, Mace is the funniest rapper now, bro. It's like that. After watching maybe 2 episodes, I'm like, yeah, I like Mace is you know, of course, Cam is the coolest. You know what I mean? Just like, like you could say anything to him. He's like, he knows how to talk with anybody. You could tell that Cam grew up in a situation where, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, like he maybe wasn't the best at this, or he wasn't, but he knew how to evolve and morph himself into wherever he needed to be to get what he needed to get from the situation, you know? So it's like, you never see him get upset. You never see a frown on his face. You never see him giving, you know what I mean? Like being too annoying. And he's like, he never seeks to be combative in a conversation, although, you know what I mean? But it's like, he always seeks to understand, you know what I mean? Which has been, it's like just a cool guy, you know what I mean? Just like, all right, I'm trying to understand what you're saying. Okay, I get that. You know, he's like, he's always, you know what I mean? Like I said, not combative, seeking to understand, you know? And so I really, that shit really is accented through that show, you know what I mean? But again, the thing that, of course, is accented the most is is how fucking funny Mace is, dog. As soon as the episode starts, you already know. As soon as I seen the episode, I seen Jim Jones. I'm like, yep. I'm like, you already know what I want to see. I'm like, let's go, Cam. Right? And so before I can even finish the sentence, you see Mace with the popcorn, like, yep, let's go, Cam. You know why we're here. Come on, Cam. What's up? They on your neck, Cam. What? No. No intro. You feel me? No. You know why we here, okay? We here to hear what you got to say. So just get to it. I got my popcorn. I was like, he says so much without having to say anything. You know what I mean? He's like, oh man.
What did Jim? Because this is what I'm missing. What did Jim recently say that sparked all this?
That Cam was basically being a D writer because Mace used to talk shit about Cam. Mace used to shit on Cam in the streets and you know what I mean? You know, all the stuff that they already pieced that up about. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, they used to talk shit about each other. You feel me? Like, they wasn't cool at one point. And so Jimmy like, nah. When they was real young, that's why he had to clarify today, you wasn't with us during that time. He's like, no. When they was real young, Mace used to hate on Cam the whole time. Mace used to say he never liked Cam. So that's why Cam was like, bro, look at all these freestyles. Where was you at during these freestyles? You wasn't even around us. You was the little homie begging us to come. Hey, bro, I got my grandma crib. Hey, bro, I got my grandma crib. You know what I mean? And I used to. That's about Cam. Cam is just the most. He's just the most American. You know what I mean? It's like I'm okay with saying he represents us here in America. You know what I mean? Like Cam is what we are here in America. Not like, bro, no reverence to nothing. You're like, listen, you come at me with respect or you don't. Either way, You know what I mean? You gonna get these jokes, nigga. You feel me? I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck. You know what I mean? Like when that nigga Ben Simmons, you know, I'm cutting the episodes up, so this is an old episode, but you know, Ben Simmons hit somebody, you know, about Cam, like, hey, what's up with your man? You feel me? You know, you need to go get your man. He like Ben Simmons. He's like, shit. He's like, nigga. He's like, Ben. He's like, bad news will beat you home, nigga. He said, you better calm that shit down. He said, you fuck around, be back in Australia, nigga. Kangaroos, nigga. You feel me? Just like that. I like, bro, this Cam. You feel me, Cam? He's like, hey, look, nigga. Bad news will beat you home. He said, yeah, kangaroos, nigga. That's all. Hey, you get what he's trying to say, right? It's like, and he does talk like this, where it's like, if you examine the sentences, sometimes they don't make sense, but it's like any nigga listen to him, we roger that. You know what I mean? It's like we understand what he's saying perfect. We understand his dialect perfect. You know what I mean? Anyway, so it's like Cam is just the essence of what an American black person is. You know what I mean? Just, you know, fly. You know what I mean? It's like I could put the suit on. Sometimes I got the chains on. Whatever you want today. What I need to dress up and not curse, or what we joking. Whatever you want to do. You know what I mean? Like Cam can morph into that and do that, you know.
Honestly, that's kind of like, that was my whole summation of the whole like breakdown earlier. I was like, man, this motherfucker is fresh as hell. And I was kind of pissed off. I started hating myself. I started feeling like Jim. The whole time I'm like, the fucking fur coat, the
like,
chains,
God.
his chains was shining, bro. His chains was
not too
blasting
much, right?
through the screen.
Yeah, right. Not too much. It was just like perfectly. It was like a light on his chest. You know what I mean? It was like a light on his chest, and he had was it the cream with the brown? It was I was like, God damn, that nigga fresh, nigga. Like, look, he started. You guys forgot who started the pink shit, right? Cam was like in the midst of everybody doing the cool shit. This is America. This is why Cam represents us. In the midst of everybody doing the gangster shit, what did Cam say? Give me, nigga, pink furs, nigga. Pink furs, big glasses. You feel me? What? Count money while I'm rapping. You know what I mean? It's like, he's like, look, whatever you guys do, I'm gonna do the opposite. I'm gonna make that cool. All right, what y'all do? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make that cool now. Or you doing that? Or I'll do this and I'll make that cool. That's like Cam just embodies that shit. And it sounds like we D-writing pause. You feel me? But I'm just saying, you know what I mean? It's like when you watch that show, you know what I mean? You really get to see the essence, you know what I mean, of it. And they're smart because now they got Michael Irvin as their football analyst. You know what I mean? So I'm like, all they got to do is hire a few more. I mean, they should hire Paul Pierce. To be honest, they need to hire Paul Pierce. You know what I mean? With the hose, and then now they're the best. They're the best sports show. You know what I mean?
I think honestly, in that lane, Kevin Garnett might be one of the best.
There you go.
Every time and I'm not even that big of a fan of like old war stories, just because like I lived it, not in the NBA, but I played enough. It was like you just get tired of being in that mind state, but they love it. And you hear KG talk, he just seems like a real menace. Like I've never heard a story of him that wasn't him just being a straight goon.
Yeah, no, 100%. You know what I mean? Michael Irvin, that nigga Michael. Like, I was watching the episode from today that they just dropped, and Michael Irvin is like that too. So this nigga love them old stories. You know what I mean? He started getting into his bag, and nigga like, boy, he's like, y'all got football Einstein over here talking to y'all. Like that nigga Michael Irvin, that nigga feel like he back on the field, boy.
Hell nah. I'll never forgive him for what he did to Adam Sandler.
What did he do to Adam Sandler? Oh. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. No. You turned on Adam. All right.
No, honestly,
no.
I think.
No. You punched Adam when in the basketball game. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
No.
traveling. That's traveling, bitch.
That was a good scene because he started to feel bad.
It was a fucking fantastic scene. Look, man, who directed that movie? I never knew, but out of all the movies, out of all the movies that we used to watch of Adam when we were kids, that's the one that I watched the most. You know what I mean? Because yeah, that movie was legendary. Like I never saw the first one, but just Terry Crews, of course, before Terry Crews, became a whiny baby, Terry Crews was one of, I don't want to use the word idol, but like I used to be like, when I grow up, I'm gonna be like Terry Crews, nigga. I'm gonna look like that. I'm gonna dance like that. Feel me? I'm gonna be you know what I mean? I'm gonna be a funny,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? A funny nigga like that. Pause. You know what I mean? But that nigga Terry, bro, that I don't know if
The
that's the first
guy
time that. Go ahead.
oh no, the guy that directed this movie did a couple of other movies, but he's like not he's I don't know, I've never heard of him. He did a couple other ones like Anger Management, 51st Dates. It seemed like he had
Okay.
like a
He worked for Adam.
partnership with with Adam for a minute. Probably one of his buddies.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, he did a good job though. I'll tell you what, that longest. But again, you had a bunch of A-list actors in it, so it's not like you had to do much. You know what I mean? That nigga Terry Crews. I knew y'all couldn't resist my shit. I got the shakes that'll make you quake. I got the fries that'll cross your eyes. I got the burgers
I
that'll. That nigga's so good.
Do you think ensemble movies are like done for? Like, and the reason I ask is because
Budget wise.
some of the new ones I see like How High 2, for example, they just brought in a bunch of like people who were supposed to, I guess we're supposed to be excited for because it's like people of our generation, but it's like it was a terrible movie. When we're looking at Longest Yard, it was a terrible movie. When we're looking at
My bad.
you go.
I had the audio in the background. Is there an echo without my headphones in, or is the audio still good?
It's good now. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I gotta charge my phone.
There you
That's
go.
why. But I think 1 second. I think that with all movies, right? It'll be good or not good based upon how good the director is. I think that they're probably gonna put a hold on it, maybe for the time being, because budgets. They're trying to spend the least amount of money on movies as possible right now. Because they're not making as much money. Number one, and then they're not. They're just not like doing as well culturally. Rather than like, making money, like, they're putting stuff out and then it's just going away. And so I think that,
Yeah.
that they're gonna try to, because they have to put movies out. So I think that they're gonna try to keep the budgets as low as possible, and maybe go the Netflix route and try to find stuff that's already working and revamp it again. You know what I mean? I think that they're gonna probably go back to that, if I had to guess.
That's what I'm thinking. I just like I watch some of the old movies, man. I can't like even like something like the first How High, where like you got Meth and Red, and just a group of like I don't know. It's you get these like films that just have such a cast, and then now you get like a group of people that just they throw them together, and it doesn't it. I don't even think it would work on paper, but they start there's no acting like chops. Nobody knows what they're doing. So it's like it's just drivel. I don't know. It sometimes I watch some of these like newer movies. The old ones aren't any better, really.
Yeah. No, honestly, that's of course, I love movies like Be Cool. I think that what will bring the movie business back is posse cuts, but you need great directors and you need great movie ideas. You need stuff like what's that movie that you showed me with Ben Affleck and those other guys, the older movie, the black and white one. This is a series.
Oh,
You showed it to me for the first time. Uh, um, Gosh dang it, Jay and Silent
I'm
Bob. Jay and Silent
oh,
Bob.
okay. Oh, okay, I got you.
Somebody needs to do a Jay and Silent Bob thing, right? which would be very simple, not easy, but it'd be simple. You know what I mean? Like I said, oh man, this is so much game because like I said, the same thing with the music. I'm like, I know how I could do it in a way where it would work instantly. You know what I mean? So if
Yeah.
what if we wanted to make a movie tomorrow, right? That would set the we would find I would pay Kai Cenat, right, to do a cameo. I would pay Aiden Ross. You know what I mean? I would pay these niggas to do cameos. All the lower level streamers, right? Not lower level, but lower than them. I would pay them and give them real roles. Somebody, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to name anybody off the top of my head, but I'm just saying, like, people that have this draw already. You know what I mean? It's like you don't
Yeah.
think that they're desperate to be in a movie. These nerds. You know what I mean? Like what the fuck? $5,000, $10,000. You know what I mean? For a day of work. I'm not saying that it was literally going to be that cheap, but I guarantee you that a lot of these streamers who, even if they're making decent money, they'll take 10,000, 20,000 bucks to star in a movie. Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And of course, like I said, if we do some Jay and Silent Bob thing, you know what I mean? We could, if we work, you know what I mean, diligently and set everything up properly, it won't take us that long to shoot something like that. You know what I mean? So like we could shoot in a few weeks, and then obviously it'll take months to you know what I mean, to edit everything and get everything together. But you know what I mean? We wouldn't need to pay them for more than a few weeks of work. And so I would just get, like I said, a big posse cut, but with all the internet people who are lit right now. You know what I mean? And that shit is gonna do 1 million overnight already. You know what I mean? It'll literally do 1 million.
Have you ever heard of the YouTuber Markiplier?
I don't think so.
He's a giant YouTuber back in the day, but the reason I bring him up is because I just recently I resubscribed to Amazon Prime, and there was a show. It's something sleep. I don't know. It was pretty good, but he's the main cat the main cast member, and basically it was pretty interesting to see somebody who had came from YouTube actually do like a decent job in the role. I don't know if it was because it was just casted well. uh he's like got like a weird vibe to him, so and the show was really weird, so it was a perfect pairing. But I haven't seen too many other like YouTube guys translate that well into film, where I'm like, man, this, because normally it's just like they come through like just super boisterous. It's almost too jarring for whatever you're watching, you know. Um, this was different, it really felt like they had curated an experience for him. Let me look up what it's called.
Yeah, no, I think
The-
DC Young Fly might have been one of the only ones that, jumped in and was ready to go. It was like,
yeah.
as a matter of fact, I might, he might be the main character if we, if we did a movie, right? We'll do a movie, and because DC Young Fly, I don't like he's what Chris Tucker was. You know what I mean? When Chris Tucker first did Rush Hour or Money Talks. You know what I mean? It's just like right away you can tell that he's ready for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's an actual, genuinely funny person. So I would do a movie starring DC Young Fly, you know what I mean, featuring, of course, Carlos and Chico, you know what I mean? And get like I said, and then get all these other streamers to do cameos and have, get some of them to have to be the supporting roles. And like I said, and if you get a good director, I would do it. I would do it like John Singleton, you know what I mean, and go find somebody like F. Gary Gray and spend all the money possible on that. You know what I mean? Like literally spend every dollar on an F. Gary Gray, you know. You know what I mean? Or give F. Gary Gray
Yeah.
50% of the movie. You know what I mean? Like, listen, this is all I have for you, but I think this would be a cult classic like Friday. I think this would be another cult classic like you did Friday. You know what I mean? And I'll give you 50% of the movie. You know what I mean? So whatever, if it does 100 million, something like that. And I think that would bring the movie business back. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't think that people in the studios are smart enough or humble enough to do that.
No,
And then the
I could
actors are
see
gonna
that.
hate it. The actors are gonna hate it. You know what I mean? They're gonna be so mad. But like it's like when somebody watches one good movie, they want to watch another one. You know what I mean? So you need somebody
Yeah.
to bring the movie business back with a huge, whether they like it or not. You know what I mean? the the Avengers series like has been propping the movie business up. You know what I mean? For the past however many since Iron Man came out. Think
Yeah.
about it. As soon as the Avengers series stopped, no more blockbusters.
It's funny you just said that because I was just in my head thinking like that might be the start to the end. Like that transition of like it was at least to right now, it's like it was the climax of the movie industry. It might have been, they broke all the records and nothing's ever been the same. It's just been straight downhill from there. Even so that they're now like Marvel is like, we'll do anything. We'll bring fucking we'll bring Robert Downey Jr. back. We need anything.
They're like, fine, fine, he didn't really die. Fine, I'm sorry.
I think did I seen somewhere where they were contemplating bringing him back as Doom.
Yeah, no, he's gonna be the villain.
Okay, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like they left. Like I just remember watching Endgame, man. It was like this is a perfect like cap to like you really can't do much more with this. They send Cap back in time. He gets to live his life. Tony's dead. Everybody's like, it's just like, okay, if we're writing a final, and I get like the comics don't really have a final, they're ever evolving and none of it really makes sense. But from a logical standpoint of like we're trying to cap off a series and transition into other pursuits, they totally just took it and went like we're just on girl power time, and their fan base is not that. So they did that for 3 years. I, I mean, we can see the ramifications now. They put out some decent stuff, but
Right.
most of it was TV.
Yeah.
So it's funny. I just seen Tarantino kind of like he wasn't bitching about this, but he was kind of like trying to explain why film is better than TV.
He's
And
trying.
he's just
Right.
yeah, no, exactly. It was
Yeah.
very biased,
I'm a, I'm a, I'm
and he
a,
wasn't do.
I'm gonna turn my
Oh, go
camera
ahead.
off for a second, but I'm still listening.
No, you're good.
All right.
He wasn't doing a very good job of actually like articulating why, or like at least he wasn't convincing me of why film was better. His whole argument was basically that TV is a soap opera, and it's all interpersonal dynamics, and movies have a crescendo and they take you to much higher highs. I don't know got how he got his data. It just seemed like somebody like anybody that's always like Scorsese, all these guys are just like they're caught in a time where it's like that's all they were like capable of doing, so that's all they know. But realistically, the long form content is just it allows much broader like scope of telling a story. So it's insane for somebody to be like, well, that's not a true form of film. It's like, well, yours is actually like a condensed, like a spark
Right.
notes
Right.
to
Right.
what they're trying to do.
No, that's how I feel too. Because he's half right, but he has the wrong assessment of it. Right. He's like, yes, a lot of TV is the exploration of interpersonal relationships, sir. It's because that's what a lot of life is.
Yeah.
Life for the average man and woman is a series of interpersonal relationships. You know what I mean? From point to point to point. Your job is just you and your juxtaposition to the people you have work relationships with and how you maneuver through that, So, yeah. And like you said, movies are more condensed, so you don't have time to do that. So
Yeah.
it's like, that doesn't make, but the assessment is that that's why movies have more of a crescendo. Absolutely not. You know what I mean? It's like, especially now, like we talked about, it's like TV is the new movie. You know what I mean? It's like with shows like The Boys, shows like Westworld. You know what I mean? Like these are hour-long movies that they're putting out every time. Every time they put out an hour episode, it's an hour-long movie.
Yeah.
and they're destroying you guys in concepts. Because again, like he said, they have the ability to go deep into the nature of the interpersonal relationships, and it evokes so much more emotion. You know what I mean? It's like I said,
Yeah.
there's an episode in Hunter x Hunter that I probably cannot watch without tearing up, and it's just about a relationship between a blind girl and and a beast. You know what I mean? It's like it's just about their relationship. That's what the scene is about, and so that's heavy, and it takes a whole season, 20 episodes to set that up. You know what I mean?
That's the that's the show where they're like literally. I've seen an episode. Somebody played it for me, but I can't exactly remember.
Yeah, it's
I just remember everybody being on a platform and they having to do some sort of tests against each other. I think that's the one.
yeah. Well, that's like a common thing in anime. So it takes a while, right, for Hunter x Hunter to because it really is like what is that, 5 seasons? It's like 5 completely different shows, literally. You know what I mean? So of course it's just the overall the world is the same, and it's in the same, but it's in the same storyline. But the main characters in the first season are not even in. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
They're not even in. You know what I mean? What he's writing now, because right now he's writing more chapters, and it's the best. It's literally the best, most in depth cartoon that's ever been written ever. I mean, like he is. It would take forever to talk about it, but I'll just say that the first season is just like any anime. You know what I mean? Where it's like kids who are obviously somewhat superhumans compared to everybody else, and they're learning how to develop their powers, if you will, right? But what's so unique, what's so unique about Hunter x Hunter? You can hear me, okay, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's so unique about Hunter x Hunter is that it's not like Dragon Ball Z or whatever, or all these other shows where it's like people have magical powers that they shoot out of their fists or whatever it is. You know what I mean? It literally, like, I mean, like dictionary style, goes very in depth into how these characters develop what is just their aura, right? How they're focusing their energy, and there's different categories, right, of how you can focus your energy inward, how you can use your energy to protect yourself, how you can use your energy to detect stuff, right, and then you can use your energy to physically, right, do something. But every single character has a different power. Think about what I'm saying. I'm about thousands of characters that he has in there. Every power is specific to what that person's personality is, right? So it's so realistic in that way. So if somebody's personality is to do this, their power is going to be laden in what their natural ability is. So it's just you enhancing whatever your real abilities are to now use it in a superpower capacity. You know what I mean? And so, like my favorite character in it is like a character who's just like, he's like it's like his power is like specifically tailored to what he does. You know what I mean? So he's like kind of like aloof and deceptive, and so he has like a power that is like something that is like kind of unseen. You know what I mean? And so it's just like the whole first season is just setting all that up. Very, I mean, like it's like listening to him explain a dictionary. They even have like they have whole episodes where it's just explaining one character's power. It's like you start it and you're like, okay, this seems annoying. Then by the end of it, you're like, okay, so now, because of that, now it's like the world takes on a whole different thing. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so the first season is a setup, right? And then the second season is like, I mean, them really kind of getting into the backgrounds of the characters themselves. You know what I mean? So it really takes 2 whole seasons before the show gets going. You know what I mean? Season 3 is literally like Smoking Aces. Think about the movie Smoking Aces.
Yeah.
Season 3, the plot of season 3 is like Smoking Aces. It's like it's incredible. It's literally like like I said, they set up all these different, you know what I mean, villains, and then they converge on a city. It's just like, I mean, like it goes from being a kid story to mass murder. You know what I mean? Like, dude, I mean, like whole crowds of people mowed down. Like just it turns into smoking aces. Just like it's like it like I'm sorry, some of those episodes were like unreal. I'm like, nigga, this is like a cartoon soap opera. It's like a cartoon murder soap opera. You know what I mean? Anyways, but not just like suicide shit. It's like like I said, it's like each of these characters have developed powers that have a whole backstory, and it's incredible. You know what I mean? And so like I said, so then by the time they get to season 4, it's a whole different thing where it's like now they're fighting an invasion of chimera ants. You know what I mean? It's like it goes from being like like a smoking aces plot to like invading mutant chimera ants that they're having, and it's like it's the deepest season. It's so deep it'll make you cry. You know what I mean? Because it shows you like just like it shows you the evolution of human beings. You know what I mean? Where it's like at one moment, right, we're barbaric and we want to take over the world, right? Which they show like the king ant going from a murderous, you know what I mean, psychopath to like by the time he understands humans in a few days, all he wants to do is play whatever, like play baccarat or whatever with some blind girl. You know what I mean? He's completely given up. You know what I mean? But it's like the craziest character development I think that any character has in any show I've ever seen. It's like a 7-day character development from I want to kill the whole world to I shouldn't kill the whole world. I should just subjugate them. Well, maybe they're not as dumb as I thought they were. You know what? Okay, you know what I mean? Like maybe I should respect them to, you know what? I don't really care about them anymore. You know what I mean? Like I just kind of want to understand them and myself to, I just want to live my last days out with this person, and that's what makes me happy. It's like, anyways, like it's very, very brilliant, and obviously, like that, like this is like a 50 episode thing. You know what I mean? But that he has to be the most in depth cartoon writer there is. It's like Rick and Morty level of in depth, but it's not quite as funny, and it's just more technical. So you know what I mean? Like it's not for everybody. You know what I mean? Like it takes a lot of energy to to absorb it. Like I said, some of those episodes, I'm just like, oh my fucking god, dude. I'm like, get the fuck on with it. You know what I mean? Like but he, like even now in the writing that he has, it's like there's an in plot that he has, right? And this nigga's on his deathbed. This is crazy. This nigga's on his deathbed, right? And he's writing, and everybody already knows where the in plot is going. They're on their way to another continent that he's been building up the whole time, right? He just put out 50 episodes, right? All 50 episodes is literally the first quarter of their journey to the planet. 50 written episodes, right? They're just on the way there. And it's the best writing I've almost ever seen. It's incredible. I mean, dude, it's like there's like a whole. I don't even want to go into it right now, but I'm saying like you start reading that shit, you're like, no way, this is a cartoon. He's like this. He has like a whole Sopranos plot going on just on their way to the finale. It's like I'm like, dude, and this nigga is like. He's on his deathbed. I'm like, why are you spending this much time writing all these mundane details? Like, you know what I mean? When you, anyways, it's literally insane. But like I said, anybody who's really into anime like that, and they seen that, they'd be like, yeah, there's nothing else even really comes close to it as far as the actual writing, because he cares way too much. You know what I mean? Anyway, I digress. Shout out JLD in the chat. You know what I mean? He's the only one commenting so far. And shout out all the Ghost Watchers. I see y'all out there. But yeah, it really is like if I'm ranking the top 2 best cartoons of all time, it's Rick and Morty and then Hunter x Hunter. Like as far as just the in-depth nature of the shows and the metaphors that they give to society. I mean, like directly one-to-one metaphors. I mean, like I said, even just the fact that it's like there's no generic power system in Hunter x Hunter. You know what I mean? And Jujutsu Kaisen basically copies that too, where it's like every character, they do a unique thing. You know what I mean? So you have to like develop the backstory for each character, develop why they have that power, how that power works, what it could develop to. It's like it's I admire, like I said, I admire, his dedication to that, because he's put his whole life and soul into that, and you could tell when you watch it. You're like, and I think we talked about that a little bit last time, where I'm like, some of these things when you look at it, you're like, wow, like you when you start describing video games to me, I'm like, dude, uh, it's like I can't even fathom half of what you're, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
it took somebody's, like, almost like this is their life's work. You know what I mean? Their life's work is this. You know what I mean? Making this as and that's when you really kind of get that next level stuff. Mustafa said Rick and Morty got boring for me. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with you, Mustafa. Like I always say, it's one season on, one season off. The last season was not their best season, but season 6 though, oh my god, season 6 was excellent, absolutely magnificent. The dinosaur episode might be the best episode they put out. Nope, see, you're drunk. Season 5 was kind of boring, right? Is that right? Yeah. So 1 and 2 obviously are the bangers. 3 is a somewhat throwaway. 4 back on. 5 somewhat throwaway. 6 back on. 7 dude, no. Season 6 is fucking incredible. Do they have the night people's um episode on that, where they have their night selves? That's one of the best
Yeah,
episodes they
yeah.
did.
That's the pre Royland band, correct?
Dude, yeah, okay, right. You're right. Dude, that's one of the best episodes they did so far as well. The Night People episode and the dinosaur episode. Fucking brilliant. And then even the last episode, the lightsaber episode of season 6. Brilliant. I like that lightsaber episode, was fucking good the whole time. But the dinosaur episode though, start to finish, I mean, like, I couldn't, all the time I'm always saying, like, certain episodes really, this represents me or this represents me. Rick in the dinosaur episode really does represent, like, because you're like, like the moment when they come to him and they're like, Rick, we need you to fix this. They're like, don't you care? You're like, I was already doing what I wanted to do. Yeah, I think I told you that when we were on the phone. And he's like, listen, I was already, like, why would I care? I don't care what
Yeah.
happens to the world in reality. You know what I mean? It's like, he's like, this is why I don't get involved in too much. And I think, you know what? I have to bring this episode up because it shedding tears. You know what I mean? Like, the spaghetti episode. Did you see that shit, Tyson, yet or not yet?
Is that the new season?
That might even be the newer one. I'm not sure, but it's basically about offing yourself. He goes to the planet where he gets the spaghetti.
No, 100%. I saw that.
Okay,
I, yeah,
that's some of the best writing I've ever seen in a cartoon. Some of the best writing I've ever seen. And then even at the end, like I said, at the end when like this, like I said, so this is the reason why I brought it up. Let me not get distracted. Is because think about at the end, right? When Rick makes him watch the thing and everybody's disgusted now, they don't want to eat it, right?
yeah,
What does Rick do at the end? He goes to the thing, he opens the laser, scoop. He like, Nick, I've been right. He's like, I've been numb. That's why I didn't want to show you guys. You feel me? He's like, you think I care? No, I don't. You guys are all effed up. I know it's effed up, isn't it? I've been broken already. You know what I mean? He's like, you can tell it's like he's broken. He's like, and so in a way, he's trying to save them from it. The whole show, think about it, the whole show is that is as no matter who you are, right? And that's what the dinosaur episode is too. No matter how genius you are, you need other people. So you have to have, it means like as much as he hates the family, he can't be alone. So he has to be around them because those are the only people he likes. You know,
yeah,
so it's like, so he has to be around them. You know what I mean? But it's like at a certain level. You know what I mean? It's like, he doesn't, he wants to be around them and he wants to show them. You know what I mean? It's like Morty is the only one. He's like, I have to show somebody, so Morty's the one that gets it. But it's like he does everything he does to kind of protect them in a way. You know what I mean? In his own, in his own weird way. But he's like, listen, like I just tell you to shut the F up and do what I tell you, because you don't want to know. You know what I mean? You don't want to know what's really out there. You know what I mean? Like the dragon episode. You know what I mean? When with the cat, right? It's like, when they finally see what's in the cat's brain, right? And then Jerry starts throwing up. Think about it, Jerry starts throwing up, right? And he's like, I have a device where we can forget this. And Jerry's like, no, we shouldn't forget this. Someone has to remember. And he's like, someone will. I'm like, nigga, this is how, like, anyways, you know what I mean? It's like when I start getting extra emotional, right, talking about black people or talking about free energy and shit, this is that Rick. Where it's like, you know what I mean? It's like I don't want to ruin your day, so I'm not gonna tell you, you know what I mean? But just know that it's fucked up. You know what I mean? It's fucked up. I looked in the cat's mind, and I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted about what the cats are thinking. You know.
I think like a lot of times in a situation like that, I genuinely go, what would the Amish do in this moment? Like I think a lot of times they have it all worked out. Maybe not everything, but it's just it seems like a simpler existence. They're just not where
Yeah. No. Hey,
you just
look.
never hear any like problems coming out of the community. If they have them, they're keeping it tight and shut.
Hey, you know what I mean? I couldn't disagree with you even for a minute, to be 100% honest. Mustafa said it got weird when Beth started falling in love with the clone. Mustafa, that's my favorite episode. Are you serious? Oh my God, I love that episode, right? Because you see that episode, right, Tyson, right? When they find out, everybody knows that they're having sex behind Jerry's back except Jerry. and then when he finally finds out, right, and they go upstairs, he's like, and they're like, what? They're like, what? So we're supposed to come up and ask you for permission to do that? He's like, yes, you do have permission. Like Jerry turns into a man for like 10 minutes. I was like, yes, Jerry. Finally. I was standing up, giving Jerry a standing ovation. I was like, finally, if after all the abuse that Jerry has been through, he deserves to fuck both of his wives, okay? He deserves to fuck both of his wives at the same time. Fuck, I was so happy on that episode, bro. I swear to God, I was like, yes! I swear to God, I was yelling out yes. I'm like, thank fucking God. I'm like, if they didn't do that in this episode, I would have been pissed. No way she gets to fuck her clone behind Jerry's back. He doesn't get to have a threesome. No way! No way! I won't allow it. It's over. Bro, I swear to God, that's the reaction I had when I seen that shit, bro. I'm like, dude, there's no way in hell they get to end this without Jerry getting some ass. There's no way. Anyways, I love how they did it too, because he still was a bitch the whole time, right? Think about it. He never broke out of the non-submissive, but he's like, yes, you may do that. Yeah. Anyways, I'm not even gonna try to butcher it, but if you watch that episode, just the way that they wrote that shit was perfect. Jerry, just how he being a submissive man, he submitted his way, you feel me, to basically domineering them into giving him a threesome. I don't know. It was great writing. It was great writing.
Nah, Doug. I think there's something to be said about that, because sometimes I'll watch people like, it's not even people. It's like we slowly watch like our species kind of be emasculated in a way where it's like, I think the most like, not the most, but one of the most detrimental like predicaments you can find yourself in is like a couple's TikTok. Like you might even know who I'm talking about. I'm not even gonna name names, bro. I stumbled upon a Instagram the other day.
Say the name. Nah, F that. Say the name. Who is it?
No, but because it's somebody local to us, and it's not like I don't want to just put them on blast.
All right, don't say the name. I thought they were famous or something.
But no, I wish it was, but it was somebody local, and I just like, it's hard because you don't want to like shame somebody for having a softer side with their significant other, I guess. But at the same token, it's like, bro, put your fucking foot down and just be like, we're not doing this shit. I'm not making TikToks with you, dog. You gotta call her like man at that point, like bro, are we in a bit like? It's demoralizing. I'm like, now I'm watching my buddy like do scented candle reviews, or make like a makeup haul.
I mean, speaking of, you're basically saying your buddy's over there looking like Travis Hunter.
Oh, he's the worst of it. Did you see Dion do a? It was like a post practice, like we got your back, Travis. We got
Deion
we got
Sanders.
your back. Yeah.
I haven't heard anything from that camp since the
Okay.
videos
So
started
yeah.
coming out of her actually cheating on him. Since they actually caught her in 4K, I haven't heard nothing from that camp.
So that week. That week,
All I
all
know,
those videos dropped like in succession.
Blown out of their bowl game, and we know exactly why. We know why. Stop playing with it. You feel me? Ain't no way he could focus on that field. Are you serious? Videos of his girl cheating on him have been circling the web. Whoever was guarding him, like, bro, I hit too. You know that, right? Yep, that's right. I was in them guts last night. Now what?
Oh,
Your girl looking at me right now.
I'm just reading the chat. Apparently, the Amish have problems.
Yeah, well, and he said that. He said if they have problems, they keep it under wraps. You know what I mean? They don't publicize it.
I respect it. I respect it.
Scented candles feminine? You gotta excuse Mustafa. He's a little feminine himself. You know what I mean? He's cool people and all that. But come on, Mustafa. Stop playing with it. You know what I mean? But
it's not the act of scented candles that are feminine. It's the act of like being enthused about scented candles for TikTok.
Yeah, no, I could have told you right when I saw those videos of Travis, you know, doing the whatever they was doing, the crab legs, wearing matching pajamas. Oh yeah, when I met her, she was like, that's what he did. He said, yeah, when I first met her, she was like, I'm like, oh God. You already know what Corey said about it. Corey, like, look, man. Look, man. Look, I don't know what, look, leave the brother alone, all right? Look, he obviously on the back door of your side of the game. All right. Let the young brother Travis, you know what I mean? Obviously, you know, it's probably a front anyway. Oh, damn, Corey.
Yeah, it was rough to watch, and he's just like he has that look like like a 16-year-old would have of like the first piece of pussy you're gonna get. You know, he's just like you can see the sparkle in his eyes, and that is like that's a hard thing to knock out of somebody. Like life has to do that to you.
I don't know, 100%. Hey, that's why I'm like, I ain't said much about it, and even then, to me, it's just the only part that's interesting about it is the fact that the brother is pimping him. You know what I mean? That's the only interesting part.
Oh, I forgot about that. He's the orchestrator of the whole ordeal, right?
He's their cameraman. He lives with them. She remember she left him in the DM, and then she out of her own mouth said, and my brother was like, "You don't know who that is? You better message him back." Now he lives with them, and he's their cameraman. Pimpin'.
That is like the definition of getting to the bag. I mean, so that's like some kind of like second level. I don't know what type of sugar daddy that is, but somehow he's the sugar baby too. But it's not gay because he's found an indirect way of.
Tyson, you know what that's called, Tyson? That's called pimping.
I guess that is pimping. Yeah, yeah. That's exactly what they're describing.
They're describing the pimping. That's I ain't hate on it at all. All right, listen, y'all messing up the little guy's game. After his chicken, I mean his sister is. He needs to tell his sister to hold it down more. All right, because think about it. We would have never known any of this, right? If she wasn't acting up at the games, right? And this is why I always say, if you're a woman, you have a lot of bodies, you can't hide it. And women always get mad at me when I say that. Oh, how can you tell? How can you tell? That's how we can tell, right? How we can tell. Who knew that she was a floozy? Nobody. We saw the way she acted. And then like, something's not right here. Let's pull the thread. You understand? Because women who don't have a lot of bodies, they don't act like that. I'm sorry, you can't. It's on your breath. It's on your breath. How many bodies you had. You know, so and this is a perfect example. Like to me, I'm like, you can just tell by the way she talked, the way she looked. I can look at her in the face and tell she got bodies. Come on, Tyson. You looked at her in the face, you like, you like based upon the fact that she like is decent looking but not like gorgeous. She's good enough for good looking dudes to hit. So she
At
gives it up
Boulder,
all the time.
dog.
Go ahead.
At CU Boulder. Does she go there too?
She lives in Atlanta, and she was in Atlanta while he was at Jackson State. Atlanta, the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
Get
no,
the
that's nuts.
Atlanta
That's
of all places, Tyson. Come on.
Yeah, no, I couldn't imagine her not being in like when okay, so that was the hard part. Like every new piece of information that came out was that much more damning. Like you you find out the brother set it up and you're like, okay, well this is kind of weird. And then you find out he was like taking her to like parties and like
And
hanging out in the
waiting
car
outside.
watching.
And then
Bro,
they
I
got
was like
videos of
sitting
her.
there.
Then they got videos of her in the club, right? You like so Travis was outside while this was going on. This is what you was. Listen, when I was
And
in
then I'm
college,
trying to think of like what he was doing. Was he study? Because he's like a 4.0 student, right? So he was probably in there reading books.
that
The level
sucks,
of
man.
hatred, like the level of like hatred I have for him is like way too. It's like we just sit in there. It's the Mel. Like I wish I could like.
Yes, it's the Mel Gibson. No, bro. You took the words out of my head because I thought about that when I was first listening to it. I'm like, boy, I'm like, this nigga Travis is on the phone right now. Like, I know he's not, but I'm just saying, like, in my mind, he is. Because I'm like, that's crazy that he got on there caping that hard. Like, don't worry about like he said him. Think about it. We didn't even know how long they were together. He came out and defended her and said 5 years. Everybody was like, oh, 5 years? Oh, let's go back 5 years. Oh, 3 years. Oh, 3 years in another nigga's house. Think about it. He came out and did the cake and just every word he said buried himself further. I'm like, you get the. It's like every time he spoke, more information came out. Every time more information came out, it just got worse and worse and somehow worse. I
Yep.
couldn't. After
To
I
the
saw the
point where he was
video,
like, "Please leave us alone. My girl is sad, and we cannot deal with this any longer."
she's been not sleeping. And of course, and then after all that, they went to that bowl game and got waxed. How dare you? No, for real, it looks bad now. It looks
Yeah,
real bad. I mean, just from a PR perspective, right? You know what I mean? I'm like, you've been in. You know what I mean? You've dealt with college recruits and fucking high. I mean, you know how it is. Like, even if they were recruiting you at a high school and you had that going on, it would be a problem. Now you're talking about going to the NFL.
yeah.
This is not good. You know, it's not good at all. It looks like you're completely out of control. Like you're a little kid being controlled by a woman. You
I
lost that
just
bowl
watched
game.
Johnny Manziel talk with Shannon Sharp, kind of in the same vein. It's like the difference between the NFL and college is like I don't even think there's a way to describe the difference in like the way they operate. I don't think any of the other leagues have that big of a
I can agree with you on that.
discrepancy.
I agree because even though the NBA is way better than college, there's a lot the NBA is largely political. You know what I mean? The
Yeah,
NFL is not anywhere near as political as the NBA. It can't be. It just can't afford to be. You know, there's too many players. You know what I mean? And real lives are on the line in the NFL. People's lives are actually on the line. You know what I mean? And so you want to get the best running back. You know, like the best running back of all time is not in the NFL.
yeah,
At least but the best basketball player of all time could not be in the NBA very easily. You know what I mean? If he was a
yeah,
thug or he was whatever, you know what I mean? Like, think about Ray Rice. Ben Roethlisberger raped the chick, and he was at practice the next day. You know why? Because ain't nobody else gonna take them hits and still get the ball off. I'm sorry.
yeah.
You feel me? We need that ball to get off. Look at Russell Wilson. They complain that he's too short now. They got the Pittsburgh fans saying, "Yeah, Russell Wilson too short." Well, he wasn't too short when he was winning them 2 Super Bowls in Seattle. So But I bet you wish you had Ben Roethlisberger back at this time, huh? That's what it is. You wish you had a 6'8", you know what I mean? So I'm like, so if you're a 6'8" good in the NFL, you're gonna make it, you know. So yeah, the NFL really is like the best of the best. You know, the strongest are the strongest. The beasts, like the most aggressive, you know what I mean, dangerous people in America are in the NFL pretty much. Look at their
Yeah.
criminal records. You think what the fuck? Look at who is more dangerous than Aaron Hernandez? Is Aaron Hernandez the scariest person of all time?
He's up there for sure. I mean, like he was on the
How
field telling people he would murder them, and he meant it.
and raped them, and he meant that.
Yeah.
And how big is Aaron Hernandez?
He's gotta
6'7",
be 6'6". Yeah, 240,
6'6".
250.
You understand? I'm not like this is and Aaron Hernandez. He was a Pro Bowler, right? But he wasn't the best tight end. He wasn't the very best tight end, though. He was up there. Don't get me wrong. He's a Pro Bowler, but you know, what I mean, there's some guys that'll mark Aaron. You feel me? Niggas ain't scared of Aaron. No offense, you feel me? But nigga, Aaron used to get his ass truck stick. You know what I mean?
Man, there
Motherfucking
was
Junior Seau. Like I think about Junior Seau. Like you know, Junior Seau. Like you know, of course, you know it's sad the way he went out, but think about how much Junior Seau just didn't care on the field. You know what I mean? Junior Seau was an all out like I'm throwing whole bodies like nigga. You know what I mean? Like smacking people. Junior Seau. You know, I love it. I'm like, you know, I grew up on it. I'm like fuck like. I know it's like, you know, I don't watch football now because, you know, it is sad me watching, but I'm like, I remember watching them highlights growing up like, oof, god damn. Miami had a team that back then, you know what I mean? Fucking Ricky Williams, big ass. Think about Ricky Williams, scary ass.
it's funny you brought him up. I just seen a video of him talking about how some random experience of like one of his roommates getting him high changed his whole career. It was like kind of arbitrary, but he said he was having like a shitty week mentally, and he was like really hard on himself. And his roommate was like, "Bro, just smoke this real quick," and went and had like two like back-to-back 300-yard games. Pretty interesting to say the least. He got heavily demonized at a time where it was just he was definitely a wrong time, wrong place, you know, because if he was in the league now, he'd probably be one of the biggest athletes of all time. Just like, you know, they'd probably find a way to make weed legal, give him a sponsorship.
Right.
They kind of did already.
Yeah, and he would be praised for doing, you know what I mean, what he did, because, you know, he basically just did the Andrew Luck thing. You know, Andrew Luck did that, right? You know, he's like, listen, man, you know, I seen fire, I seen rain. Give me my money, I'm gone. I'm gone. And who was the running back for the Texans? I forgot his name, but he did the same thing, you know. But I think that Ricky Williams, you know, like you said, they demonized because he was the first one to do that. You know, I don't think that was heard of at the time. People in the NFL were dying on the field. You know what I mean? You know, think about Brett Favre.
Did you see? And I didn't confirm this yet, but did you see they offered LiAngelo a music offer?
Oh my God, yes. Shout out LeVar Ball, man. All right, shout out LeVar Ball. LeVar Ball is the greatest father of all time. All right.
I mean,
at this point,
he's definitely like top. I don't know who else would compete with him, because like all the other ones,
Harbaugh, a granddaddy Harbaugh. You know what I mean? The Harbaugh brothers' dad. You know what I mean? Like
the Williams sisters pops.
Yeah, the Williams sisters' dad. You know what I mean? I'm like, this is Dale Curry or Grandpa Curry.
The Wayne's
there you
brothers.
Go. Whoever their dad is, right? Like,
yeah.
I'm like, LeVar Ball's in the Hall of Fame of dads, and I always remember. And I know you remember this because we were living with each other around that time, and you know I don't shut up about shit. But I was saying that I'm like, listen, even though he's not like, you can tell he's not as dedicated to basketball. I'm like, he's the swaggiest one. When I was saying, I'm like, he's the only, he looks normal. I'm like you can tell that he's the cool one at school. You feel me? So that's why he don't do as much as the other brothers. Because the other brothers, they look weird. You know what I mean? Like they're long face niggas. He has a regular looking face. And he's big buff. He's big, buff, stocky, and a regular looking face. I'm like, he gets all the hoes. There's no question about it. His older brother is way better than him at basketball. But Lonzo is an ugly motherfucker. You feel me? No offense. Big. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I make fun of my Uncle Gerald all the time. Cause my Uncle Gerald, you know, he looks at my dad's kids, was me, my brother, and my older, me and my two brothers, right? And we're all mixed. And he'd be like, God damn, your dad got some good looking kids. He's like, that don't make no sense because I'm good looking and he's ugly. You feel me? He's like, so how did he get the good looking kids? You feel me? But my Uncle Gerald is an athlete and he wanted his kids to be athletes. So he had all of his kids by an ex-basketball player. And she's not an ugly woman by any means. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? It's like my cousin Steven, no offense. He's like, I'm like, listen, man. I'm like, your kids can play basketball like a motherfucker, boy. But they're never gonna look like this, though. All right, you know what I mean? Trade-offs, all right? Trade-offs, okay? like I'm like, look, my cousin Steve can play basketball like a motherfucker. You feel me? But you know what I mean? I'm like, you look at my brother JD. My brother JD is a, you know what I mean? He looked like just we're more, you know what I mean? You know, we're more visual with our gifts. You know what I mean? So, anyways, you know, that's Lonzo Ball and Leangelo and Jello. I've always said that. You feel me? And so that's just funny, right? I'm like, he's gonna be all right. He was doing, I think he was already getting millions of dollars from the show, right? So I'm like, he could be an actor. I'm like, if he wanted, he could fall right into being an actor. And sure enough, then they can make one song. You know how the song blew up?
Neon. Right. This is I think that is hands down the craziest part of this whole story is not that he has a hit song, it's that Neon fucking did it. Neon goes, hey, you got any music? You got any fucking music?
Hey,
like just
hey. Tyson, we're on the right path, Tyson. All right. We're on the right path. Okay. That's why I sent you those videos earlier. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, do you see this? Did he say 200 grand or did he say 90 grand? 90 grand to get Kai Cenat to react to a song. You know what I mean? And think about it. And what Kai Cenat is doing is not even directly music, right? And I didn't record this part, obviously, but if you go and listen to that stream, bro, he goes on to say, this is how I make most of my money. He said, 100%. This is why he said, this is why I talk so much shit. He said, because the labels, they're not going to pay the artist. They're going to pay me. Yeah. He said, every time you see me rapping to a song, I'm hitting the labels over the head. He said, I'm transparent with this. He said, yeah, I do okay. I'm from YouTube, do okay from whatever. He's like, 75% of my money comes from raping the labels. Graping. Blah, 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 blah. Stealing money from the labels. He's like, I hit them over the head. Yeah. They want me to react to some. He's like, the next time I take 2 weeks off and give little baby time to breathe, he's like, I'm gonna get $500,000 from each of every one of the labels. He said, and I guarantee you they're gonna send me the money. I guarantee it. If I tell them I need $500,000 to do something, with the quickness. This is Akademiks talking. Like, this is where my money comes from. You feel me? He's giving you the game. Like, you're like, yeah. I get the youth, but it's really because I move the needle. You know what I mean? And I was telling Vince
this. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I was telling Vince this, you know, trying to put him on game a little bit, you know, but I don't want to repeat myself too much, you know. But I'm like, look, man, I get that you hate the way music is now, right? There are people who are in place that determine what music is popular or not popular. You know, it's not that difficult to understand how they got where they got. Yeah. I'm telling them, I'm like, this is why I say what I say I'm like, I get what you're saying, right? But there is a way to go about it where you can put yourself in a position where you can promote all the classical music you want. You know what I mean? But you're not going to do it by shitting on what's popular right now. That's just not how it's going to go. Point blank, period. I'm like, cause I just look. Very few people know the vision. I'm like, this is what we're doing. You know what I mean? It's leading right here, regardless. I'm like, so, but you'll always just be the guy who's a hater if all you do is hate. You know. Yeah. So you have to learn how to assess what the customer is doing if you do want to reach the customer, if that's your goal. If you don't care about the customer and the average listener, then shut the fuck up about what they listen to. Then shut up then. You don't speak on it. If you don't care about, I don't care what they want, then shut up. Let them listen to whatever they want to listen to. But if you do
Fantano
care,
has a place.
go ahead.
I was saying if like Anthony Fantano, there's a place for contrarian views. It's just you're gonna be that guy. You're gonna be the fucking guy who everybody hates their fucking guts.
And yeah,
Relentlessly.
right. And it's like, and if you say something constructive, it's like you're watering it down because you're just seen as a hater. You know, it's like same thing with Ack trying to criticize the West Coast right now. It's like, bro, if you have legitimate criticism of the West Coast, which is weird in itself, it's like if you don't live over here, why would you even? You said you haven't been here 2 years, like, so why do you even care, right? But if you have legitimate criticisms, that's not gonna bleed through if people over here just see you as a hater. Now your criticisms aren't even being listened to. So you have to you know, like an Avatar, you know, it's like the guy has to come assimilate, and then you can deliver the bad news. You know what I mean? You don't just come delivering bad news. Who raised you? I'm like, this is what you guys do in Europe, huh? You just kick in people's door and take what you want, don't you? Anyway, no, he could not handle that shit during that debate. I'm like, I don't know if you saw any. Well, I'm sure you didn't see it yet because I think he just put on YouTube today. But dog, ant meat foot. That's all I'm gonna say, dog. Like, then once he realized that every time, you know, he's gonna bring up, whoa, black people this, black people this. I'm like, all right, but what about the millions of people that you guys killed in World War One, though? What about we're talking about 40 million, right? 60 million people in World War II. That's 100 million people in the span of 40 years that died in Europe because you guys can't get along. Tell me more about black people not being able to get along. Tell me more about how we're dumb being propagandized to kill each other. Tell me more about how we're so fucking violent that all we do is rob stuff because we're thugs, right? 100 million people, right? And so because you guys run out of resources, you go and you steal all the stuff from Africa. Now you're over here trying to steal from us right now. You're physically over here right now in the process of still. Yeah, I mean, like that. I made it that real for him. You feel me? Like to the point where it's like, dog, I am not the one. All right. And if you think you're gonna come over here in America, right, and you're gonna join what you think white people are doing over here, start shitting on black people, like Cameron said, bad news to beat you home, Jack. Bad news is gonna beat you home. You nigga, you're gonna be in Australia, kangaroos, nigga. You feel me? Kangaroos, like a motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, and like, look, and again, and this is another reason why, because the same thing we're talking about with Europe and America, we're also talking about with everywhere else in United States and California, don't we? You know, and I think a part of it is again the amount of people that end up passing away in LA, right? Which again, it's reasonable. You know what I mean? That's the thing. I'm like, even with the American thing, I'm like, I don't think it's unreasonable that you guys hate us. It's not unreasonable. I'm just gonna make you admit it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just have to admit it. It's not unreasonable. We're cocky. We're annoying. The American government is terribly corrupt. So there's plenty of reason to hate the American government. You know what I mean? You know, and there's plenty of reason to hate black people. But it's all going to be rooted in jealousy, though. Let's be real. Because we don't do anything to you. We don't affect the world economy. Black people hardly ever travel out the city. You know what I mean? Niggas is in Houston and Atlanta, right? And think about it. And you let them tell it, oh, black people are so poor, or they're so this, or they're so that. And you already know, bro. Drive around cities like Houston, Atlanta. Are we poor? No. Yeah. You go around Atlanta, you gonna get jealous than a motherfucker, nigga. You gonna see raggedy niggas, right? Riding in Rolls Royces and Lambos with money, nigga. Right? What you think? You think we live like what? I mean, you come out here, you gonna see niggas that look like me, shining, making what? I'm like, what? I mean, black Americans, do you know? You only know me, sir. You only know me. And are you sure you wanna? Come on now. You what? This is my worst day. I'm like, I ain't shaved or cut my hair in over a month now. I'm like, and I look better than every nigga in your whole country right now, just like this. What? I like cut you, and you come over here. So like I said, it's not unreasonable that you guys hate. You know what I mean? But it's just, you know, shout out DJ Overtime. You feel me? DJ Overtime is one of the few people that hold it down for the real Americans over there. You know what I mean? But it's the same thing. You know what I mean? On some level with California, where it's like California people are so cocky You know what I mean? And just like, it's like the complete disregard. And I think even again with black people, it's like we don't give them overt things to hate on. You, you know what I mean? And I think that's what makes it worse, right? Because it's one thing if we really were violent as Black Americans, but the fact that we really do welcome other people into our culture, that just makes it worse. You know what I mean? Say what?
Yeah.
What? Reggaeton? Yeah, sure. We love reggaeton. What? K-pop? What? Yeah, my sister's a huge K-pop fan. You know what I mean? This is we let people come in and yeah, and if you ever see a video of a black person at a Mexican function, what are you going to see? You're going to see a black person with a sombrero hat on and hey, you mean trying to fit in, trying to assimilate,
Yeah.
and trying to figure out what you guys do, right? But when they come over here, they're not trying to figure out what we do. They're trying to, figure out what's good and take it, and then marginalize and like, oh, well, you guys should be, you know what I mean? And like I said, it's like, in society, right? The people at the top, we don't really care that much about what's going on. You know what I mean? With the people, you know what I mean? It's like, look, I'm really up here, so it's like, if anything, I have pity on you. I would never spend time trying to shoot at you. But if you're up here, right, then it's natural that the people at the bottom are going to be constantly taking shots at you. All right.
Yeah.
So the rest of the world is constantly taking shots at America because of the hierarchy. And the rest of the United States, they take shots at Cali niggas. And this is mainly an African American thing. I don't know what the sociological stances are between, non-Black Americans as it relates to states. But as it relates to Black Americans, you know exactly where a Black American is from based upon the way he talks and the way he acts. California Black Americans do not hate on other people. We love other people. We love other cultures. And as far as I know, Atlanta people are like that too. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
Atlanta don't hate on other people. They focus on what they're doing, and they like other people's music too. We focus on what we're doing. We like other people's music. New York niggas are the biggest haters on the planet. I'm sorry, y'all hate on everybody for everything. You hate on yourself. You hate on the sky, the sun, the moon. You literally hate on the sun, bro. Like when Rory and Joe Budden were talking about everybody moving to California, they literally started hating on the freaking sun. You know what I mean? They like, I don't know why they move out there. Like, who wants the sun all year long? I mean, I miss the snow. Who wants to, like, you're literally hating on the sun? I'm like, this is top level. I've never seen anybody, you know what I mean? So it's like, New York, they hate everybody. And they can't hate on Atlanta right now because Atlanta is running shit. So if you hate on Atlanta right now, then you're just obviously being a hater. But they hate on Cali because, yeah, Cali is not, you know what I mean? We're not like in the Dr. Dre days of music. But Kendrick is having a run right now. And so the entire California is celebrating, especially Los Angeles. Los Angeles is yesterday's price is not today's price in Los Angeles right now. You know what I mean? And rightfully so. It's like when Drake is on, Toronto is lit, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So, but New York niggas, well, I don't say New York niggas because I haven't heard a lot of people hating. Well, actually, Joey Badass in the freestyle. But that was a flip.
Yeah.
It was a flip of the Hove line, but still, why did he bring it back though? He could have said anything right there. You know what I mean? Right. See, real hip hop
I
heads.
don't.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying I don't know what the, I guess, the predisposition or why New York has to kind of like equate everything to their standard of living. Like there's no reason for it, I guess.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like I said, to me, it's a lot of hater shit, And I don't think that people from New York have a reason to be jealous. You guys have good artists. Like I said, I was giving Fivio foreign props today for his business circle. I think that he capitalized off that situation well. And bro, this is why you gotta love West Coast niggas, bro. Because I said once you like when At called in, right, and like I said, he was like, oh yeah, I know 5 rappers that rap better than everybody. Like, who you know? I said he only named 3 people. He named Cardi B and Nicki Minaj. A Boogie. Then he changed the subject. You feel me? And somebody in the back will say, nigga, he's like in New York. He's like y'all known for streaming right now in New York. So all y'all do is stream. I had to think about it. I'm like, oh shit, all the streamers are from New York, huh? I'm like, that is what you guys are known for in the East Coast. I mean, yeah, you guys are ahead of the curve in that way, right? Think about it. Joe, you, Kai, y'all all from New York or New York, New Jersey. You know what I mean?
Jersey, yeah.
That's what y'all do out there. Y'all rappers ain't really like super lit like that. I mean, this is the first time I heard of Fivio Foreign outside the Kanye, like we said. I don't know not one Lil TJ song. I know I have some of the songs downloaded because when I'm DJing for certain crowds, they like the Lil TJ, but I don't remember any of those songs that I play. But I actually play Lil TJ songs in DJ sets, and I don't remember them. You know what I mean? He's a hood rapper. He's cool. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's all right. We don't.
Yeah.
What? Those are the biggest artists, new artists out of New York right now. Dude, Kendrick is performing at the fucking Super Bowl this year. And last year, who performed at the Super Bowl last year, dog? A bunch of Cali niggas. Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Kendrick,
Oh, wow,
50 Cent,
yeah.
Eminem. What are they talking about? You see why they're so jealous, dog? You see why? Think about it. This is the second year in a row we performing at the Super Bowl. What? In the South. Right? Is Atlanta really running the music business? Don't get me wrong. Atlanta, they've been running the music business, right? But the last 2 years, let's look at the music rap business overall. I would say that Cali still overall is still the highest ticket in the rap music business overall.
Yeah.
From legacy to now, right? From legacy to now, we put 50 Cent on, we put Eminem on. That's all California's legacy. They all had to come to Dr. Dre to get on. Yes. So I'm like Akis literally had the nerve to say, like there is no California influence in rap at all outside of California. As if everybody's not Bloods and Crips around the world. I'm like, that's what I said. I'm like, they got act on tilt where he's exposing his ignorance now. You know what I mean? He's just saying anything. I'm like, you can say that our music is not reaching out there, but you can't say it's no influence. Are you serious? I'm like, what blood set is there that started not in California? The blood started on Paru Street in Compton. Or I don't know.
That's interesting. I was gonna say
I don't know if it's in Compton. Excuse me if I'm wrong about that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think the South kind of took a hit when Thug went away. I mean, like nothing has been the same, but realistically the unity they had going in, like right before he went in, Slime, was it Slime season? No, it's not Slime season 2. Whatever that compilation album was, we were playing it heavily. It came out right before he went in, and it
yes, we're gonna the one we're gonna on
it. Ski was on there.
Yes.
That
Ski record was going hard. That Ski record was going hard. Everybody was doing dances to the Ski record. Yep.
Yes.
Damn, so really was
they were on tilt at that point, and then he goes in. And what we've had now ever since is Gunna was on a run to an extent, but it was a solo run, and it was way more mainstream,
right? And now
than it ever has been,
right? And now it's getting confusing with who's supporting who in Atlanta. It's like they're divided over Thug now, in a weird way.
No, everybody's kind of in disarray. There's no clear unison, and Thug can't outwardly speak about it because it'd probably go against his terms of his probation or whatever. So that hurt them quite a bit. LA just, I think, by chance of timing, and it was kind of like a lackluster year, I would say, for music. Like,
very much so.
I don't like we were just talking about streaming kind of dominates in the East Coast, but realistically, and you saw Act kind of pivot, streaming dominated in all of media as well, because for a long time he was only posting hip hop, and then it was like, okay, well, now I'm gonna post Aiden, now I'm gonna post this person, now I'm gonna post that, and now a lot or a majority of his posts are streamers. So,
well, he has a personal reason for that too, because he, and we don't have to get into it obviously, but yes, but of course, at least 10 to 20% of it is him doing it up for his own benefit. It benefits him that Aiden Ross and all these people become bigger than the rappers. He can't he's like, yes, this is what I've been waiting for. You know what I mean? The whole time.
Yeah.
Matter of fact,
in that group.
Exactly. That's what I'm like, without saying it, I'm like, yeah, these are his understudies. I don't care what nobody says. Everybody, all of these people watched Akademiks growing up. Even you know what I mean. Like I don't know anybody who was streaming like that, streaming before Ak. You especially at this level. But did you hear about the conversation that this nigga had with 6ix9ine in jail?
No, but I did see somebody talking about how he got put on the phone with Diddy through 6ix9ine.
You literally can't make this shit up, bro. Literally, bro. Literally a fucking movie scene, right? He like, I think 6ix9ine called me from jail, right? Talk about whatever, yada yada yada. You know what I mean? And he like, hey, you ever talked to this nigga Diddy before? He like, nah, I ain't never talked to this nigga Diddy. He like, oh, you want to? He like, all right, yeah, whatever. He like, hey Diddy, hey, come here, yeah, he want to talk to you. Just imagine that, bro. Just imagine that. You're on the phone with 6ix9ine. He's in jail. Do you want to talk to Diddy? Yeah, sure. Hey, Diddy, hey, come over here, nigga. 6ix9ine, talking to Diddy. Come over here, nigga. And Diddy comes like, grab the phone. Hey, what's up, Playboy?
Nah, bro. There's no way that's real.
I'm like, I know it don't mean, it can't mean what it means to people from our era, right? Puff Daddy. Think about it. I'm like, this can't be. I'm like, and I think Ak understood the gravity of what he was saying. He's like just that's just the craziest thing ever. I'm on the phone with 6ix9ine. This nigga gonna say, "Hey Diddy," and that nigga like shooing Diddy over here. Come here, nigga, get on the phone. I'm like, bro,
is Diddy ever gonna see like fresh air ever again? Do we get a
what?
free Diddy?
I think we do. I'm gonna go out on a limb now and say that he beats these charges, bro. He beats everything but the battery, and he'll probably get time served for that.
They're gonna do him like Thug and just hold him in court for 5 years.
Yes. I think that's what they're gonna do. When the Jay-Z thing came out, shout out, Zay and Trip and Loyal's stupid ass. I'll be streaming with them sometimes or just, chopping up with them on Discord. And when the Jay-Z thing happened, Loyal instantly suggested that Jay-Z planted the story. Instantly. He said, I think that Jay-Z's running a play. I'm like, what do you mean? He said, he planned the story, and then it's going to come out fake quick. And then now anybody else that sues him looks crazy. And he gets rid of all the allegations like that. I'm like, I said, if she retracts the shit quick, then I'll believe you. Sure enough, it came out she was lying 2 days later. All right, oh shit. I'm like, if Jay-Z did that, I'm like, then yeah, his lawyer is earning the money. His lawyer is earning that money, and Shapiro, right? I think that's his lawyer is Alex Shapiro, right? I'm like, yeah, Alex Shapiro, he's earning his money. He like if you I think you might have seen at least a few episodes of the movie Suits, but you at least know what it's about. But the character in Suits, he represents the Alex Shapiro type lawyer, where it's like a nigga comes in and like, listen, I need this to happen. And he goes and sees the other attorneys, like, I have this on you, drop the case.
Yeah.
You feel me? Or
basically,
if I'm not on you,
Better Call Saul.
You know what I mean? Deal. So, yeah, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Diddy might have, Diddy's lawyer might have worked hand in hand with him. You know what I mean? Because like what the credibility of a lot of these cases has been shot now. You already found out that
the whole Diddy case is predicated on Cassie's testimony or like her. I mean, it seems like it's kind of all just up in the air. Like they could take his money, they could take his businesses, so they did it.
Dude, and I've said this, and a lot of people get mad when I say it, but I don't care, right? I don't believe people are guilty until there's evidence that they're guilty. Only thing that there's evidence of so far is that Diddy be beating on Cassie. That's it. Yeah, he be beating on her. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. But you know what I mean? There's certainly no doubt about that. And from that apology, we know for 100% for sure that he's guilty. We know that he beats her
Yeah.
all the time. Yeah, we know that he beat the dog shit out of her all the time. But all the other stuff though, yeah, that's up in the air. I'll tell you what I do believe now that we're talking about it. I believe the Justin Bieber shit. I believe the Justin Bieber shit. Bro, did you see his interview?
Well, which one? I mean,
Oh, okay, I only
it's
saw
been a
one, so I
couple
don't know.
questionable.
I only saw. I thought that he was being quiet this whole time, but then I saw some interview clips come out, and the way he was crying, I'm like, oh yeah. A man only cries like that if he's been touched in the butt. There's no way a man breaks down like this unless he's been touched in the butt. And then you start seeing all those clips of him being 14 and everybody just being inappropriate with him on national television.
Yeah.
That shit made me a little sad. I'm like, oh yeah, that they ragdoll Justin.
There's
That's
a
rough.
video of him and Diddy standing there, and he's like, "How come we don't hang
Yep.
out no more?" And
Oh shit.
With the
Yep.
that's the hard part, dog. Is like I think I'm not worried about it personally, but like just the fact that like having such a large digital paper trail with no context or with like a certain context, and then like
Right.
changing that, and now okay, we have this frame of reference. So like now we think Diddy did all this stuff, and we go back to every single thing he's ever put out, and with that context, it just looks horrific. And I don't think he's ever going to get away from that.
Oh no. He's completely
perception.
finished. He's completely finished socially. Just like Bill Cosby. Like Bill Cosby
Yeah.
is finished socially. Even though, like, I'm like, as dumb as people are, they're like, oh look, Tory Lanez got convicted, so we know he's guilty. I'm like, okay, well, Bill Cosby was found innocent, so you know he's innocent, right? Okay, all right. You can't have it both ways, Jack. You can't have it both ways. So fine,
Bro,
I'll accept Tory Lanez is innocent.
Bill, I was just gonna say I think they got Bill because I think he's like past every time I think about him. To
Right,
me,
he's
like in my head, he's gone. Like
he's gone already. Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah.
He's irrelevant. He might as well just roll over. You know what I mean? Well, no, I hope he lives a long life and enjoys the rest of his days. I'm just saying, like he said, it don't matter that he was found innocent. He is completely finished.
Yeah.
Completely finished. Yeah.
They're trying to do that to Tory too.
Oh, they're
went
doing
in for the kill.
I'm just look, but again, you know what I mean? Those are Rock Nation lawyers over there.
Yeah.
You see what they look. Like I said, man, business is war. All right. Like
he got like a 20-year sentence, and they're talking about she's afraid
5 years.
that he's gonna.
Right, she had a 5-year restraining order. Bitch, he's gonna be locked up until that time. He's not even gonna be out.
Nah, bro. I was watching that shit sick. I was like, I couldn't believe it. And the fact that like she just kept, I mean, like she lost in the court of public opinion, so I guess that's cool to an extent. Or let's not say she lost. There is a large majority of people that believe she's just full of shit. And that helps, I guess, me feel a little better. It doesn't help Tory.
Right. Dude,
He's still fucking just.
I can't believe now that we're talking about it again. I can't believe this. You know what I mean? I really can't believe that shit happened. Like regardless of who wants to argue with me about this, that, and the third, you know me, I'm always talking about what the facts were. The facts were that Tory did not have gunshot residue on his hand. The facts were other people had gunshot residue on their hand. The facts were Megan lied in front of everybody, said that her and Tory were not sleeping together. Physically lied. We have her on camera lying. The facts were in the courtroom. She physically said her back was turned and she did not see who shot her. She physically said that. And then she repeated to say, And then she proceeded to say, but I know Tory shot me. And that was enough to send the man to prison. And I'm not sad about it. You feel me? Because think about it. Remember, I think we talked that day, right? Where I was like, I was mad for like 11 seconds. And then I thought about the nigga who came into the courtroom right after him. You know what I mean? I'm like, welcome to America, Tory. Welcome to America. Go watch the hurricane, nigga. Yeah. Go watch the hurricane to pass
Nothing
the
is
time.
more sobering than watching somebody get like 10 years directly in front of you. And it's even more crazy because they'll just like all right, 15, boom, and then just on to the next docket. And you can see people like, oh, go ahead.
You remember when TJ Miller was on Skanks when they had Skanks Court? He was doing the judge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's like, I want to see a lot of good energy in here. You know what I mean? It's like being all goofy, right? And he's like, and they're like, yeah, would it be a lot better if the judges were like that in court, right? He's like, yeah. He's like, maybe my soften the blow. He'd be like, yeah, I really like you, but I'm still gonna go ahead and give you 50 years. You know what I mean? He's like, yeah, like nope. I don't think I'd like that. I don't think I will.
But I'm surprised. Like I think they made such a precedent over that dude that jumped over the bench onto the judge because like they were probably surprised that more people don't do that. I mean, you give me 25 years.
I already told you what I'm doing. All right, listen, look. This is proof that black people are not violent. This is what I'm saying. I'm like, we're the least violent people on the planet. We're the only ones that take this shit. We're the only ones that do this. I'm like, you trying to lock Europeans up like this? These motherfuckers gonna have to start a world war on you. Everybody got to go to war. If you know what I mean? We don't do that. We take our punishment like men, and we shouldn't. I mean, listen, I don't condone rioting and violence. All right, obey the law. Yeah, man. But yeah, no, that motherfucking I guess, like we talked about the other day, somehow, this 2025 is starting off crazier than than 2024. But
no, it's been a wild fucking 2 weeks with it.
Yeah,
I mean, like it's.
Have you done any deep diving into the Joy Taylor situation?
I haven't gotten too far except for the memes, but it was funny because
what memes have you been seeing?
Well, I saw a lot of her tweets being like juxtaposed on top of I guess her actions,
Yes,
where it's like
exactly.
People can't get ahead without sleeping,
right,
with their boss.
Yeah, well, yeah. She was saying like, just so you guys know, beautiful women can be in the workplace without sleeping with their bosses.
Right.
The nerve, right?
I mean, it was crazy too because she's good looking to an extent, but she's not like any more. I guess it was just the audacity of the whole situation. They were a lot of people were angry at the fact that like she was with a white man. So
that's what they were angry about. But they weren't angry about. But they weren't angry about the fact that she planned on lying and calling him. She planned on lying, like what that and just when it wasn't convenient for her anymore to put an innocent man behind bars. Another woman admitting to lying on an innocent man. I mean, another woman.
This is how you know we're not living in equality is not a real concept because like what fucking man would ever fathom that's like predetermining you're going to like assault somebody and then writing it down and texting it to somebody. Like I couldn't even imagine. Like I don't even know the male equivalent of like false reporting would be. It's fucking nuts.
It's premeditated murder. Yeah, it's premeditated murder. And but listen, I I had to check Vince about this, right? Not that long ago. We had a quick debate about him erroneously saying that women have never been leaders and cannot be leaders. Right? Now, while I say that, most women shouldn't be leaders, but it's not historically accurate that women have never been leaders. It's not historically accurate that women cannot be leaders. As a matter of fact, they lead you dumb niggas right now. All you dumb niggas right now are being led by women. You know what I mean? I'm like, listen, the idea of manipulation is that the other person doesn't know what you're doing, right? Okay, so let's get past all the, well, it looks like this, it's called this, all right? Let's strip all the labels off, all the barriers, right? If an alien species came down here and looked at us, who would they think is in charge? Clearly the women, right? The dogs, damn near. They would think the dogs are in charge. They would say, okay, so this is a species ran by the dogs and the women. Sometimes the women and the dogs sleep together, but the men mainly sleep outside and by themselves. Think about what I'm saying. At least in America, all right? I can't speak for other countries. In America, you know what you see? You see women and dogs sleeping together in almost every home. Mainly men sleeping alone and by themselves, right? And men working and giving all of their money away in a slave labor fashion, mainly to women, but the rest to the government. That's the assessment. So they're like, okay, so these are the slaves. All the men on the planet are slaves to these two species, the women and the dogs. Look at that. Right. I'm like, it is all of our lives. We can't deny it, whether you like it or not. I have women that I support. These women have dogs. What? My son has a dog now. I didn't buy the dog. You feel me? But he has a dog. You understand? And so by proxy, I'm supporting the dog. You understand? It's our life. It is what it is. So I said, I don't get mad at it. I just look, you're not going to pretend like it's not what it is. As a woman, you're not going to come and be like, oh, I'm so oppressed. Bitch, I'm oppressed. I'm oppressed, bitch. All right? I'm oppressed. I'm a slave. I'm a battered man. I'm a battered man. And then you guys all come and take advantage of me, right? And I'm not emotionally able to turn down sex from a beautiful woman. So you guys come up and you offer me sex and you shame me for taking the sex that you offer. It's not right. All right. It is not right. You know, female fire ants do this exact same thing, right? Swear to God. Because the men are born, right, at a small clip, and they're mainly a female species. So what they do is they keep all the female baby ants and they send the male ants into the forest, right? And then when it's mating season, they go and they scour the jungle to find the male ants, use them to impregnate as many as they can, and then kill them. Listen, you think we're not animals? All right. Let them do that to you if you want. All right. Oh, she loves me so much. Yeah, okay. Anyways, I love you guys though, right? Because it's in our DNA. Think about it. We have to. I can't help it. You think no matter, honestly, look, let me not even ask that. All right. I digress from that, man. But yeah, look, we're a species ran by women. Do not let them fool you. We probably lost 10 followers right there. Just be saying that. Listen, bro, no bullshit, right? And I'm sure I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that at least 2 out of the 3 were joking, right? I said that to 3 women, right? That were a woman ran species, and you guys are really in charge. And I even connected the historical evidence. Like you look at the Persian Empire, right? The Persian Empire, which was the biggest empire at the time, the there's a lady, right, who, or so let's say the daughter of the first king, right? She was either the daughter, the wife, or the mother of almost every king of Persia. Think about what I'm saying. So she was a daughter of the first king. She married the second king, which was her brother. He died. The next king that took over also married her. And then her son took over. He died. Her other son took over. Who was in charge of the kingdom, Tyson?
Yeah. The
You know what I
person
mean?
that was there the whole entire.
Exactly. She ran that shit. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, since the beginning of time, women have been secretly running it, and they prefer
you not know that. So that way you think
Yeah.
you're running it, and you know what I mean? I said that to 3 different women, and 3 of them said like, "Oh, you're not supposed to know that." Ha 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 ha. Oh, I bet you do think that's funny, don't you, bitch? Anyways,
No, I mean, as soon as you pull the fourth wall back, all hell breaks loose.
all right.
I do it sometimes just for, I guess, the sport. You know, keep your skills sharpened. But a lot of times, yeah, it is just easier to defer. I think like a lot of your time as a man is like determining what battles are worth fighting, and
Yeah.
what you're willing to, what hill you're willing to battle for.
Mm-hmm.
So I just
Yeah, I mean, because you definitely don't have energy for everything. I'll tell you right now. And this is also represented in the Hunter x Hunter, right? Because like they divide people's abilities into like 6 different sections, right? Like you're either an enhancer, an emitter, a transmuter, you know what I mean, a conjurer, or a manipulator. I think it's those 5 things. You know what I mean? So it's like I said, it's very in depth. But the reality is that if you're a manipulator, right, you can get to 100% as a manipulator, but it's a waste of time trying to put all of your energy into being a conjurer or an enhancer. Although you can like get so, but it's like you're only gonna be able to get so good at it. You know what I mean? And you're gonna waste time that you could just developing your manipulation ability. You know what I mean? So you can become the best manipulator or an average level conjurer. This is like a huge part of the story. You know what I mean? Where some people mess up because they're spending too much time on things that may not be their strength anyways. You know what I mean? And so it's like if you just focus on what it is that you do well, then you'll be able to get so much further.
that makes sense.
Yeah, like
I'll
I
have to
said,
check the show out.
yeah, like I said, like I said, the first 2 seasons it's gonna be like cartoony, but it's still good writing, but it's more cartoony. Season 3, man, dude, is an adult cartoon. It's an adult cartoon at season 3. I do recommend that, but it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. And like what's his name said, I'm like Rick and Morty is not for everybody either. I don't care what nobody says, man. It is. It's like not everybody wants to think a lot when they watch TV shows. You know what I mean? Some people watch it and they want to not think. Go ahead.
I was saying, speaking of not for everybody, have you seen the latest Elon drama?
Oh, the one that Myron lost his thing over, or you talking about the London stuff?
Well, that I so yeah, you're probably not tapped into it at all because
Go
it's
ahead.
like a
Yeah.
gaming thing. But
Oh no.
basically, there's this game Path of Exile 2, and Elon. So it kind of backtracks, but when he was on Rogan the last time, he was talking to Rogan about how he loves video games and how they like help him decipher the world and
Well,
problem
we were
solve,
talking
etc.
like basically what we were talking about. Ironically,
Yeah, to an extent. And
right.
so but in that he kind of brings up that he's like one of the top Diablo 4 players in the world. And
Whoa, that's a heavy. Hold on, that's a heavy accusation. Is that
it's a
true? He
big
really
one
is.
too because it was true. Now his account
Okay.
was tied to top 50 or whatever. He was up there, and it's a
Okay.
big
Okay.
game.
Right. That's I'm
So
like, hold on now. You
Path
can't
of
be telling
Exile
that lie.
2 is in early access, and they are kind of testing out the features in that it's a very similar game to Diablo 4. It's like top
Okay.
down ARPG.
Right.
I mean, it was made in the same vein. It's like it
Right.
was
Right.
directly inspired. And Elon, for whatever reason, is streaming Path of Exile 2 he's testing out, he's saying he's streaming on Starlink, etc. So he's kind of like
So he's showing the game.
he's showing the game,
Okay.
and people are noticing that he doesn't have some of the knowledge that he should have, being that he is top 50 supposedly in this game, because what he's doing is he's not only playing the game, he's playing on hardcore mode, which
Right.
essentially means if you die, you're dead for good. There is no
Yeah.
coming back. So
Right,
he's
right.
like level 95 in hardcore mode, and he's live streaming. And people that play this game avidly, like gamers,
They
are
can tell right away.
autistic to an
that's-
extent. They're
Oh
yes,
no. I mean, you know me, bro. It's like the same way I break down the TV shows where I'm like, if you really watch it, then you would know this, that, and the third. You know.
yeah. No, exactly. So he's immediately on fraud watch. So right now, what is happening, if you open up my YouTube or Twitter, is 90% is like talking about this Elon scandal and how he allegedly bought or like has somebody playing for him, and then kind of just,
I would say he probably has somebody playing for him.
yeah. And so I guess my
That's
question
interesting.
is not I guess my question is kind of, why would Elon do it? Not why somebody would do it. Is like, what does Elon gain from being number one at this thing as well? Or not, he's not even number one, I guess, but he's just like up there. Is like, what is he? Because like he's been on this complete like tear of like trying to be the people's champ.
Well,
And
yeah,
this
you're
is
knocking on the door.
right. So this is like a complete miscalculation. I don't feel like he has too many of these where he's like,
Right.
at least
I agree.
perceptive wise, because I don't know him, but it seemed like and I was kind of talking about this earlier, it's like he was much more powerful when he was more in the shadows. Like when we had more of a mystique to Elon and we didn't get his personality,
Right.
and we didn't get to hear like, and the only time he spoke was maybe once or twice a year, or once every 2 years on Rogan. Like we would never, or he did like some sort of conference, and he's just like, oh, he's that awkward, quirky guy. And it's like, coming to find out, it's like, no, how much of his personality is contrived and or like analyzed.
Right. You know, I feel like this is the first time that his slip has been showing. This is the first time. He's obviously made some other miscalculations politically here and there, but to actually just break character in this way, but it wasn't a breaking of character, it was a miscalculation, like you said. They didn't think it all the way through, you know.
I mean, I think it's got to be what it is, because I keep kind of just trying to figure out like what his motivation is. And it's funny, like how am I going to figure out what the richest man on earth, what his motivation is, right? But it's realistically, it's like, why? I guess ego might be ego. I don't know. Like it's one of those things.
Yeah, I definitely feel like he probably has the best publicists and image consultants in the world, and they're probably extremely detail oriented. You know, it's like if you want to keep up a lie, it's like little tiny things matter, you know, every little detail. And so they thought that they were being extra detail oriented, and it just like what they did basically is like Travis Hunter coming out saying, "Stop messing with my girl. We've been together 5 years." It's like you were trying to clear it up, but you gave us more to analyze, and in that you made a mistake.
I want to get so famous that I could just create lore myself, just like make up tales. Like that would be a great level of fame, where I could just like create a whole new backstory. Like I'm a fucking bow hunter from Montana, and I create a bunch of fake profiles with AI. I bet we can do it. Like
no.
Before,
I was gonna say like that's something I was kind of going with. I was kind of aiming toward with the mask thing a little bit, right? I'm like, what if like at a certain point, you know what I mean? Because of course it's different now, but I'm like, I never show my face, right? But I'm like, what if at a certain point, right, I never show it, and then I just pop up with a new channel with a different mask, you know what I mean? And it's like they don't know who that person. Anyways, I had thought about that before, like that shit would be super, like on some MF Doom type shit.
Yeah, I mean, people have done it. There's a couple, like, I don't know. It's a hard part too, is like because like people get caught in these characters and they genuinely don't know how to pivot, so they just like they're that guy forever. The Costco guys are stuck in it right now. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but that shit makes me
Vaguely.
laugh every time. Yeah, no,
Vaguely.
it's just incredible. It's incredible. I think one of the greatest things the internet has done is made like subpar people just like ridiculously famous, and we get to like psychoanalyze their ascent and descent. Like we get to
Well,
like literally watch them
listen.
implode to an extent.
Well, no offense to all the fans of El Drake out there, but this is what we are experiencing with Drake, right? All these years, because we weren't this personal with Drake, everybody had him up on a pedestal, right? Or or I mean, not just Drake, but all artists, but Drake especially, right? Oh, they're cool guys who are smooth and nice people who care about other people, right? Have empathy, maybe have life experience. No, okay, these are guys that make music, all right? They're all borderline tardy. All right, they're tardy. They're
Yeah.
late for class. You know what I mean? They're late. That's why they want to do music. I'm not saying all of them, but I'm saying a lot of them. Oh yeah, tardy. You know what I mean? So yeah, reasoning with them is not, so, and especially you're trying to get their opinions on politics and stuff. Are you serious? Get out of here.
Yeah, not gonna happen.
Yeah, I
Not gonna
mean,
happen.
that's why a lot of them, they just go with whatever the mainstream thing is. You know what I mean? They're not really lefties. They just do whatever because they're trying to not think. All right, that's their goal. I want to take as many drugs as I can to feel as good as I can, play my music, and not think my way through life. Which is
No, I
nothing
can
wrong
see
with
that
that.
completely. I think that's why like just certain fads just take over and they run rampant. I think the Ozempic one is one of those. I'm interested to see where that takes us.
Oh
You
my
know,
god. Oh my god! I heard somebody say a funny ass Ozempic joke. I forgot it, but shout out Ozempic, man. Like I don't know what the fuck that's about. There has to be
bruh,
something
I
else
didn't
going on there.
even did
There
you
has to be something
know
else.
how they take those how they take their medicine? I didn't know. It's like they're shooting it directly into their stomach. Yeah, nah, it's sick.
Yeah,
Sick.
no,
I
that's
couldn't
crazy,
even
man.
imagine. The only
Look,
reason I
man.
know, like, go ahead, my bad.
No. You good, bro? You good?
And I was just saying, like, I think I heard Tom and Bert talking about it, or Bert talking about Tom doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Honestly,
Either way,
yeah. No.
go
Speaking
ahead.
of Bert, though, I think Bert is another one of those guys that we're gonna watch some implosion if you don't already consider what he's doing implosive. But
There's a whole couple channels dedicated to his slow descent.
yeah, he does have a good fan base. It's like the problem with people who get on a certain level. It's not really the Gary Coleman thing. It's funny that Mason can't find that. I think what did Mace call it? Mace called it the Webster, right? It's the Webster, where it's like you think nothing can happen to you. You know what I mean? It's like not that the Gary Coleman is like you've made it, and so nobody can tell you nothing. You think you're so smart you can't learn anything. You have life figured out. The Webster is when you think that you're just untouchable, and you start thinking you get to say anything to anybody, do anything, and you can't never get knocked down. And I'm 100% positive Bert thought he was there. When you look at his behavior in those Joe Rogan episodes, it's like I think Joe Rogan is terrible. You know what I mean? But I would never, you feel me? Just, anyways,
No,
I'm like I said,
he's pretty bad as of late, honestly. Every time I see a Rogan episode I want to watch, I make it through 0.2 minutes before I'm like, bro, get this the fuck off my screen. I want to watch
yeah,
it. I want to love it.
me too, dude. Me too. I want wanted to like that Cat Williams episode so bad. You know what I mean? Like I tried to watch it like 5 different times, but every
That was
time
a
it was
hard
like
one.
it's like somebody was forcing my eyelids shut, forcing it. Like stop.
It's like when you your parents and some other kid's parents are friends and you're like forced to be friends with some random kid. I felt like I was watching 2 random children forced to be friends. I don't know why, but that's
Yeah,
just like the whole vibe of the whole show was I need to have Cat here because he called me out publicly. And if I don't do it, I'm the biggest asshole of 2024. So I'm going to have him on the show. And like, even at the end, when they're just like, when Cat's on the racing simulator, it's like,
I
it
didn't make it that
just,
far.
well,
Yeah.
this was like a clip that Rogan posted afterwards. And it's just like,
A clip of
Cat's,
him on the simulator running.
yeah, Cat's on the racing simulator driving. He's like, you
Oh,
never
driving,
seen a
driving.
motherfucker drive like me before. You know, he's doing his cat thing. And I don't know. It was kind of like hard to watch. It felt like, again, it's like your mom forced you and your little brother to like let him play with your toys.
Right. Yeah. No, I
You know, it
did
just
not
didn't
like.
feel genuine.
Yeah. You know, I did not like that at all. And although I consider Joe Rogan to be an above average person, right? Not in this, okay, not in this, but he's above average in a lot of things. People like Bert Kreischer, people like Drake. Drake is above average in making music, obviously. That's it. You know what I mean? I think Bert Kreischer is above average maybe in being like the life of the party, just being a fun
Yeah.
guy to be around. But he's not good at podcasting. He's not good at long form content. He's not good conversationally. You know, he doesn't know how to not think, and that's what Ari said to him. You know, he said the one thing that Joe does know how to do sometimes, I guess maybe he does it in the podcast that they have together. He surely doesn't do it on his show. But he said Joe knows how to not make everything about him. But on his show, he does that a lot. You know what I mean? Where I was thinking that Joe, I know you think that we care, but I want him to finish. I really want him to finish. If you could just let him finish, please. It's like Joe turns into Nori sometimes. You feel me? For real, like just not drunk, but sometimes I think he does it on purpose, but that's a different conversation. Either way,
I would I
Drake,
would be
Bert, like
so
I
much
said,
happier
average
if he
people.
was doing this on purpose.
I couldn't
It would
even.
make me feel better.
Somebody had said had criticized him. I don't know if it was a Post Malone they were criticizing, but they were criticizing him for having somebody on there and not talking about music not one time. Yeah. But it's the people who go on there's fault too. Nobody calls them out. They're just so happy to be there. Fuck that. I'm like, Joe,
But
hey. I didn't come here to talk about that shit, nigga. I'm like, nigga, look, I can't even promote my music. It's my only time I'm gonna be at Joe. Pull my music up. Yeah, I mean, you got to force the conversation to go where you want it to go. You know, not everybody could do that. So, but yeah,
But the sickest line Joe hit you with is like, what do you mean by that? And just stare into your fucking soul. And it hits people so hard to the like it's great. I think I watched Dave Smith. He told a joke and Joe was like, what do you mean by that?
yeah, no,
He's
he's
like,
notorious.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, Joe is notorious for calling out people's bad jokes, calling out people's joke bombs. Ironically, no offense. Like I said, Joe's a decent comedian, but he has a lot of bombs on stage. You know what I mean? Joe bombs a
Yeah.
lot. You know, which is like I
No,
said.
he's a self-proclaimed bomb expert.
So I don't get why he spends so much time calling out other people's bombs. I'm like, Dave very rarely bombs. I mean, Dave has a very high shooting percentage because he doesn't take as many shots as other people, but he has a high percentage. You know, matter of fact, I don't know if you saw that last Skanked episode, but Dave was on last episode like a motherfucker. He was definitely on.
Was which Which episode
They
was
did
the last? I have been
shot callers.
keeping up to an extent.
Shot callers.
Okay, I missed it then.
You
I'm
haven't
thinking of
seen
the
it yet?
one prior.
Okay.
Yeah.
I won't ruin it for you because it's pretty good at the end. Yeah, it's pretty good. So I won't ruin it for you. But Dave is he has a good episode like a motherfucker. You know what I mean? And it really does satisfy you with everything that Lewis has been putting us through. Everybody is satisfied in the end. Let's just put it like that. You know what I mean?
That's good because
it's all worth
been
it.
insufferable lately.
Fucking,
Lewis
I don't know if you
has
saw
been
him.
hard to watch.
I don't know if you saw him on the last fucking Story Wars, but he kept pulling his shirt up, flexing his arms and shit. I'm like, this is the gayest thing I've ever seen. I want to make a video on this asshole so bad. Like, and I have some notes written in my thing. And I think if I do it, it'll probably get traction because nobody else is making videos on Lewis. You know what I mean? Or maybe, they're doing a documentary on him actually about Skankfest. But I don't think, like, the way that people are making videos on Myron right now, the way people are making videos on Bert. Are there a lot of people making videos on Lewis?
So not Lewis directly, but you would be surprised at how often skanks get referenced in these other videos. There's Podcast Cringe is a channel, Elephant Graveyard, Too Lazy to Try.
I've heard of that one, Elephant Graveyard.
Yeah, so there's a couple of them that are pretty big right now, and skanks gets referenced because a lot of the incidents that will happen that they're referencing happen on skanks. Or it's like during the Schultz beef, a lot of that, or not Schultz beef.
Mm-hmm.
There was
Schaub.
There was
the Brennan
Schaub too, but there was some stuff that happened with Schultz recently that originated on skanks, and people just keep. I'll just say it's a hot topic to pull from. They don't get a lot of the traction. Because of course it's like a smaller show, but they end up having so many of these comedians on that a lot of the time, a lot of these problems just bleed into the show.
Right.
And then you have people like Godfrey, who's on the network, who brings a lot, like for whatever reason, Godfrey's show brings a lot of drama. So I spent a good, I want to say 40 minutes today watching Lord Jamar on.
Oh, that's
Godfrey's
right.
show.
Oh, that's right. I did see something with Lord Jamar today.
Yeah, so him and Professor Dave were debating flat Earth on Godfrey's show.
Oh God.
Yeah, it went bad. It went exactly.
I know. Fucking. See, but Professor Dave has the reason why they do that, right? Is because Professor Dave debated Witsit and got fucking embarrassed, and he's been getting embarrassed. Like Professor Dave, oh my God, just such a pretentious douchebag, dude. He's the most pretentious douchebag.
Completely.
He's the most pretentious douchebag on the internet, dude. I'm the only one that can, you know what I mean? It's like he needs somebody like me to shut him all the way the fuck down, and it's happened before. No bullshit. Like. Oh no, it's happened big time. Matter of fact, to get ready for my, the debate that you were there for, to get ready for that debate, right? The evolution debate, I watched him get dismantled, and I took a lot of my written information from a guy that was debating him, and this guy is a professor at Rice University, who actually does a lot of in the field research. And Professor Dave was talking a lot of shit online, and he challenged him to a debate, and he couldn't back out, and he knew he was in over his head. If you watch that shit, bro, and it's very complex in the weeds, scientific information about, research pertaining to abiogenesis and peptide formation. If you understand what I'm saying, like they're debating, the experiments and whether or not they've been able to. This is such a dumb debate. Like he definitely got baited into doing this because nobody in their right mind would agree to this debate. Whether or not we've been able to successfully create abiogenesis. That's creating something from nothing. You know what I mean? Like basically taking inorganic matter and having it somehow turn to organic matter. Impossible. You feel me? It's never happened. You mean like they've tweaked a few things and gotten close, but they have not done it yet. And so he debated a real professor on that, and then peptide formation, which is like, it's like, can our DNA ever form randomly? Which the answer is no. You know what I mean? It's like if I just take 26 letters of the alphabet, how many times do I have to throw the letters randomly on the ground to make a word? It'll never happen. I'll never make a word.
Yeah.
What about a sentence? What about a whole paragraph? If I take a bunch of letters, throw them on the ground, will they ever make a paragraph? That's never going to happen. And so we're saying that randomly complex this is more complex than a paragraph, more complex than every supercomputer known to man, more complex than, you know what I mean? Everything is derived from our complex DNA. You know what I mean? And so, like I said, it's just like, it's a dumb conversation that nobody would ever take seriously scientifically, but he thought he was going to come in and be just this pretentious asshole. And it's like, no, got straight and embarrassed. Like all the college students in there were just like clowning this nigga. Like, dude, like, you know what I mean? Cause it's like, bro, this is not the internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, no, this is a real debate where you have to be quiet and let him present it. And it's like, listen, these are what you have to present. If you don't have that, then what are you even doing here? You know? So that's why I'm like, he just tries to find people now that he can embarrass, so that way, he could clear his name and shit. So I'm upset, Lord Jamar. Anyway.
Yeah, it bothered me tremendously. There was a lot going on with the whole clip, and like it did feel like he was beating on a special kid, because it's like, yeah,
Exactly.
I didn't
That's what he
find
does.
Lord Jamar to be like a reputable. But that's what I was saying, and I'm like, I'd never heard him say anything intelligent, so it was like weird
Yeah.
to have him be like this free thinker on the Godfrey podcast. Like, how did this even come up? It was crazy. And then Professor Dave was matching his microphone cover, which bothered the shit out of me. His shirt and the cover on the micro, like the pop filter, were the same hue of green. It was a lot.
That's
It was a
hilarious.
lot wrong with it.
That's his attempt at having style.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. And the
Yeah.
rest of his room was abysmal.
Yeah, see, and again, I know everybody already knows this about me, but I don't like that people give in to the propaganda and allow people to force the conversation to be about what they want it to be about. I enter these flat earth debates because I know that I'm going to be able to shut anybody down and get my ideals out there. Mainly, of course, the free energy thing, just like the basic things that they're lying about. Nobody believes that the earth is flat. Okay. Flat is not a shape. All right. That's ignorant. Yeah, like that's ignorant. Flat is not a shape. I'm like, this is why they all suck at debating. Think about how sucky they are at debating. I could beat us in 10 seconds. If I was debating a flat earther, I'd be like, it's flat as shape. No. I'm like, all right, debate over. What? This is retarded. You know what I mean? Excuse me, this is tardy. But they don't even, like, they're not even clicking on all cylinders enough to think of that. They're just like spewing propaganda to try to confuse people, But again, like that, I wish that that people would hone in on what they're really trying to hide with that, which is the free energy. Nobody cares about what shape the earth is. Nobody knows what shape the earth is in reality. All right, the earth is mountainous and shit. I've always maintained that too. That's the thing about it. Before I seen any videos pertaining to this, I think I told you that when Brian wanted to show me the flat earth videos initially, and I was like, bro, come on, bro, I'm good. I'm like, listen, let me tell you what shape the earth is, Brian. Nobody knows what shape the earth is. I've always maintained it. I'm like, the earth is mountainous. Okay, so that's not one shape. All right, and the main thing, is that it's not moving, but that's not as big a deal until you realize that leads us to discovering what it actually is if it's not a moving planet, which is a fucking battery. We live in a battery that provides free energy to us. And that's too much for somebody who owns a bunch of slaves. I'm just saying, if I own a bunch of slaves, I discover free energy, I'm not giving it. Well, I would, but who knows what I'd do in their position.
It's rough too, because like a lot of people ask, like, what's the ultimate goal of, like, why would they lie about anything? And it's like, well, it's a pretty like easy answer, I guess. Is like, if we all knew the truth, whatever that may be, it's like we might stop doing what they want us to do. Like if I knew the truth of the universe, like if I knew tomorrow that none of this was real, except for example, and we really are in the matrix, or it's like it would change a lot of people's day-to-day activities. Like
Yep. No, you're
I
no, you're
think you
100%
said this
right,
a
man.
long time ago. It's like you can't break that that order without giving somebody else like an option. You can't if there's nothing to replace what they already like have, what are they gonna run to? Like what is that alternative? And I think a lot of times with a lot of the conspiracy people, they're not ever looking at like what the end goal, like what happens if what you are saying is true, like what
Right.
happens to our
And then
reality.
what happens next? You know.
I don't think that answer is often like ever or like ever even thought about. It's just like
Yep.
constantly this is fake or this is
Right.
wrong. I don't think that really like
Yeah,
gets you
and
anywhere.
I agree. It doesn't get you anywhere, and it's like, so what? It's like, okay, and all right, this is what I choose to do in this fake world. Like it's like that, which is again like why I love to, I handle my little business in the beginning, but I like to keep it on the free energy thing. I'm like, imagine this, even just put it in their head. I don't care. Imagine this, imagine this, imagine that. All right, you have that now. To take that with you. Well, I'll tell you this. There's an anime called Attack on Titan. Um, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's another anime that people regard very highly because it's on the adult side, right? It describes what's actually going on with us as it relates to this flat Earth thing.
Yeah.
And even what Hunter x Hunter is doing right now is like them like traveling to a whole nother continent. You know what I mean? It's the same thing, right? But in short, of course, it's just like, look, they're hiding more land. All right, let's just keep it simple like that. Obviously, it's more complicated than that. But listen, it's like there's a certain amount of land that they tell you this is the entire world. All right, and there's more of the world than that. It's something that makes sense. You know what I mean? It's like it's not like motherfucking some shit that defies the laws of physics. Like, nope, it's just more of what we see, which is like
Yeah.
it's realistic. Yeah, it's just more of what we see. You know what I mean? And so they tell you that the only way to get off of the land that we're on is to do something that defies the laws of physics, right? Which is in your mind, you're just like, well, I'm not doing that. Right? Think about it. It's like to go to Mars, you have to do something that defies the laws of physics as we know it, travel however many, light years, whatever. I don't know, man.
I don't know too much about it. I do feel like I want to be on the side of science a lot. The hard problem I have with the whole Mars transfer thing, and I think anybody with like two brain cells goes, wait, what do I have to do? Is like, okay,
Right.
both planets are going this fast, and then I have like a 6 month window to jump between the two and
Thank
land
you.
precisely on. I start like logically,
Tyson,
and again, it's like,
you just debunked the moon landing. You just debunked the moon landing right now. Right? The
yeah, don't
earth
get
the
me
earth is
started on that.
moving. The earth is moving how fast, right? So when you leave, okay, it's moving how fast and the moon is moving how fast. So how did they pick up the extra speed or slow down? And then because the moon is moving slower, so when they leave the moon, right? How did the earth not just take off? We're talking about millions of miles an hour is supposed to be moving. Anyway, let's not do that right now. Let's not do that.
That's the hard part. I want to believe in all of it because it's just easier.
So you know
Yeah,
what's funny, bro?
it's
Like I'm like ever since that Jordan Peterson thing that I told you about that has me diving deep into different stories and stuff. I've just been connecting everything that I've been reading to things I've been watching. Right? Think about how potent season 2 of Future Man is now. Right? when they're all going to Mars. Think about it. They're all going to Mars. What is it? Man's automated reality system. You know what I mean? They're just sending people to the virtual world, but they're going to Mars. You know what I mean? It's hilarious.
Devs is the same exact premise to an extent, with more steps. I don't know if you guys ended up finishing that.
Finishing what?
Devs.
I don't remember Devs.
I made everybody on the hill watch it, but I don't think anybody like got through the whole season. It was on the same vein though. It was like Nick Offerman is. It's actually a brilliant show. I've
is it the one where he gets in the car accident? And then
his child was in a car accident and his daughter and his wife were killed. And the whole premise of it is he's trying to bring them back through quantum computing. And the idea of it being that I don't want to, and I guess maybe I just don't.
I'll check it out. Yeah, I don't remember that one, but yeah, I'll go check that one out.
It's the reason I bring it up is because we're dealing with, I think about it a lot because we're dealing with it on so many levels now, where like in the show, the government was trying to get a hold of their computers, you know, because they're like, look, we don't know what you're doing here. What is devs? What are you guys computing, etc. And Nick Offerman's character, he's like, it's none of your fucking business. It's devs. We're a computer company. Like,
shout out Zev. Shout out Zev in the chat. Go ahead, keep going.
Oh no, he's all good. Yeah. So for whatever reason, he's trying to recreate reality, a reality in which, not for whatever reason, he lost his wife and daughter, and he's trying to like bring them back. And by the end of it, I guess the question is like, and I don't think it'll spoil it because it is what it is. Is base reality the actual reality, or are they living in a form, like a contrived version of what he built already? Yeah. Like, are they already living in
like Westworld?
To an extent.
Right.
I think a lot of it comes to play with Schrodinger's cat, you know, is
so we're talking about now the deepest form of reality now, and really what is it, right? Okay, so bro, there's the one thing relating to this right now that I cannot get a handle on, right? You know, I can almost accept anything. There's one thing that doesn't make sense, right? There's a lot of people that go deep into these old buildings that I maintain used to be basically an electrical power grid, right? I'm sure you may probably have heard me say this once or twice. You know, all these old buildings were, you know, used, collected as like a power grid and stuff. And so I did a whole episode on that where I really went in depth into why I think that and why pretty much all signs point to, yes, they were built to harvest energy and transfer. You know, all those arches that we have that we think were just people built them so they can have something pretty to walk under. You know what I mean? Like, no, they're built like magnets for a very specific reason. You know what I mean? And so I did a whole episode on that, right? But there are some channels, right, that go through all of these old buildings. I mean, thousands of them, bro. I mean, like, they have an episode. They have an episode where they go to just one city. It's like, these are all the buildings that are just in this one city that match this exact design with this exact, you know what I mean? And look at how they're designed. You know what I mean? Like I said, just adding to that grid theory. But the craziest part to me is that when he goes in and he looks up, you know, who made these buildings, right? When they were quote unquote found. Because, you know, they say that with stuff like it was founded. That actually means found when you actually look up, you know what I mean, what they were, the dictionary they're using at the time. It's like they found the buildings, they never created them. You know what I mean? But they tried to pretend like they created them. And so the main point of his series is he shows how like they all like in every city in America and elsewhere, in all of these buildings, they all have mysterious fires. I mean, thousands of buildings, thousands of fires. Right. And so, again, now that we're talking about real life now, so of course, that could just be somebody covering it up, right? Like, these people are trying to take over these buildings, which ironically, most of these buildings, if not all of them today, they're either government buildings or they're ran by the churches, right? Which the churches is the government too. You know what I mean? So all these buildings have been procured by the quote unquote powers that be. All right. So all that being said, this is the crazy part to me. When he goes in and he reads who made these buildings or who found them, or who they give credit to building them, it literally, it almost cannot be anything else but AI writing this. It has to be AI. So it's like either somebody's using AI to write it, which I don't know how long these stories have been around. Either somebody's using AI to write it or the Schrodinger's cat thing, right? Where it's like, once you look it up, the story is just there because you start reading the story and it's like, huh? It's like the building was built by Peter Smith and then passed down to Peter North, and then Peter North sold it to Peter James. I'm dead serious. This is how these stories are written. We were like, no human is this dumb. You know what I mean? No human is this dumb to think that we're going to be fooled by a story where some random building that you're trying to fake that you built was bought and sold by 4 different Peters. And I mean, they're all written like that. Where it's like, John Smith sold it to John Adams, and then John Adams died, and so it's passed down to his rival, John Jacobs. You feel me? And then Jacob John bought it from John Jacob. We're like, what in the fuck is going on? I swear to God, bro. I'm like, this is one of the few things that I'm like, I still cannot get a handle on. I'm like, what is going on here?
What you're describing, or what, like, this scenario, I sent this into the group chat. It was it's the same that have you ever heard of the double slit experiment?
Of course. Oh, it's the basis
Yeah,
by
okay.
which I destroy these niggas in debates. Absolutely.
Okay, so you're very
Yes.
familiar with this then, so I don't have
Of
to break
course.
it down and butcher what's going on. But what you're describing just reminds me of that so much, because it's like, how much of our existence is based upon that observer role?
Yes.
Like, how much of it is based upon the idea that all parties are connected and that they know they're connected, and if the knowledge of them being connected exists, then it alters their state of being.
Okay, so please, have you seen Shark Boy and Lava Girl?
I'm aware of. Yeah,
Okay.
I've seen
so
it. Yeah.
There's this channel I watch now where it's called The Theorizer, where he does breakdowns on, you know what I mean? He finds the threads like this, and like he started off doing the Pixar shows, right? But I started watching because he does a breakdown of Shark Boy and Lava Girl, and Shark Boy and Lava Girl are telling this story. I mean, like, to the T. This is the story, and the movie is allegedly, the writer who wrote the movie, he allegedly wrote it about a real dream his son had. So it's allegedly like based kind of on like a real story in a way. But this is the mess. This is the whole message of the story. It's like the whole movie is about him realizing that when he writes something down or when he dreams something, in a roundabout way, it happens. And then it's like, it's not just him making it happen. It's like him and his classmates and his teachers, they're all experiencing like a collective dream. You feel me? Where it's like, as they say stuff, and of course, like as I said, it sounds almost too dumb when you say it like that, because you're like, yeah, life does work like that. But I don't know, for some reason, we don't stop and think about the implications of it. You know what I mean? We don't stop and think about the implications that, yes, we're making everything happen. Everything that is happening is made by us. But
Every time you break the fourth wall, it sounds schizophrenic.
Exactly. It does. You know what I mean? But, you know, I think you were the first person that, when we first started talking about it, that helped me understand it like a video game. You know what I mean? Where it's like, yeah, it's like in video games, you know what I mean? It's like physics, the law of conservation of energy, right? It's like, it's not there unless it needs to be rendered. So once you walk, it's like whatever is in you, right, is a part of the process that that allows the rendering to happen. You know what I mean? It's like the rendering is coming. Excuse me. The rendering is coming from you being played out on the canvas. You know, and so Nikola Tesla, when he describes the ether, this is how he describes it. Like I said, this is like a well-known idea, but he describes the ether, you know what I mean, you know, as the canvas, and we're the authors. So he literally, you know, he describes the brain as a transmitter, and the ether, which is, let's just say, the thing that everything is made of. You know what I mean? And it used to be on the periodic table before they got rid of him and got rid of all his inventions. It was on the periodic table. Everybody knew there's something called an ether, which is just like the paper, if you will. You know what I mean? It's the paper, right? And we're the drawing on the paper. You feel me? So, but what is the hand of the drawing? The hand of the drawing is our own mind. You know what I mean? Life is not more complicated than that. So that's why propaganda is so fucking important. You know what I mean? This is why they spend all their money on propaganda. Because they know that, like I said, this is Sharkborn Lava Girl, where it's like the hidden thread in Sharkborn Lava Girl is the government is using the kid who, because he's still a kid and he's a specific kind of kid who has the ability to kind of still believe in his dreams, they're using him and putting him in scenarios to make him dream stuff. And then when he dreams stuff, it happens. So he's not the superhero, but he imagines the superheroes and then they become real. So the government is using him for that. You know what I mean? Anyways, like I said, you know, like I said, it's of course its own representation, but like I said, I almost, like, my head almost exploded when I heard the dude like breaking it down. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, I'm like, I knew that there was a reason why I needed to get into this fiction. You know what I mean? Because it's like, you know, like I said, I have read it and like I said, I know the double slit experiment, but something about seeing it in the show just made it click for me a little bit. You know what I mean? Where it's like, you know, it's like, you know, and once it clicks, like you said, it's like it seems almost like schizophrenic, like breaking the fourth wall. Where it's like so dumb we already know it, but I don't know. Anyways. I digress from that.
Well, it's rough because you start pulling all the threads and you start tying everything together. And you're like, all of this is super connected, and if I point it out, it's easily dismissed as, oh, you are crazy, and or you've devolved into madness, right? And realistically, I don't think there is that much coincidence in this life for everything to be like so coincidentally linked. Like, why do all these weird things happen and come out of Fort Bragg? You know, why? Like, there's certain like questions where you go, there's the old saying, where there's smoke, there's fire. And I think that is kind of what we're dealing with, where like there's too many indications of the word spells, magic, prayer, manifestation now is the new version of it.
Think about it, summons. You think about it, it's like they use the law and they write on a piece of paper that summon you. Right? Like to like poof you, and you're summoned, aren't you, into the courtroom? Right? Almost like magic. It is. And of course there's another Pixar movie that represents this too. You know what I mean? I think it's called Onward, where basically in the movie, have you seen Onward? No, my kid watches it.
It's just funny.
Like the one sentence pitch is that everybody is actually magical creatures and magicians, right? But slowly but surely, because they create a little bit of technology here and there, the need for magic goes away, because everything that they would use their magic for, there's a piece of technology for it. So they forgot that they even could use magic. So now there's all these magical creatures that just live like regular humans, and somebody like finds a wand, or somebody's dad is like part of a secret society where they're trying to bring magic back. You know what I mean? It's like, no, you have the ability to do magic, but it's the technology that is keeping you, because you just, instead of like making fire, right, you can just get a lighter. It's the exact same thing, right? This is a, you know,
I was thinking
breaking
about
the fourth
this while
wall
I was
again.
watching Harry Potter. I was watching Harry Potter recently, and I was watching because, you know, originally all these movies were set, you know, 20 years ago. So just technology wasn't really like a thing like it is now. But I'm watching, I'm like, if you're a wizard in 2025, are you hating on the humans' technology? Are you guys like actively trying to get rid, like a cell
Yes.
phone in your pocket? Are you just pissed off all day? It's like these motherfuckers figured out magic. We're the
And better
only
than
people with
ours
magic.
too. And because theirs is, it works every time. Us, we have to conjure up a spell. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And you know,
Yeah,
I was always interested in Harry Potter for that too, even as a kid, how they would use regular words, right? They would, or well, Latin words, I think it is, right? So they would just use Latin words that meant the thing they were trying to do. You know what I mean?
bruh,
That
Latin has to be the most overrated language of all time, and I'm gonna tell you why. This shit, I know it's the precursor for all languages, and I'm
well,
probably gonna get cooked for this.
no, but really, it's Greek, and we can talk about why they had to get rid of the Greek at a different time. But really, it's the Greek. Like the Latin is like the first. It's the first time they tried to get rid of the Greek, and then they got rid of it again. You know what I mean, by getting Latin out of the way. Yeah,
It's insane, man. It's overrated as hell. I know all the.
I agree.
I feel like everybody like they try to interject Latin when they're trying to be smart, and it sounds fucking insane.
Yeah, but so and like I said, we'll go into depth about this another time because I really could talk about this forever. It leads right into the Bible, right, and just like how important these stories in the Bible really were at a certain time. But you know, if you look up like there are Greek lexicons that have more words in it just in like the letter A than exists in the entire English language. You know what I mean? It's like right. So, but because you know, you can always learn things through language. You know what I mean? Like what people are saying, how they're saying them. You know, like if we're having a casual conversation about something, or like for example, this is how people are so sure, the non-religious scholars. This is how people are so sure that quote unquote Jewish people didn't exist or Hebrews didn't exist the way the Bible describes them, because there's no contemporary writings that describe them in the way that they describe Egyptians, right? Because there's contemporary Greek writings where they say, like, you know, I did business with an Egyptian man in this city, you know what I mean? Blah, 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 blah. Right? So
Yeah.
it's like the passage isn't about him being Egyptian, but through the way he mentions it, it lets you know that Egypt was probably a real place that existed at that time, you know? So, you know, when you look up the Greek, bro, they have like words for like, not like even obviously they have words for centaur and dragon, but they have words for like an occupation for a man that hunts centaurs, an occupation for a man that skins centaurs, an occupation for a man that skins dragons. I mean, an occupation, like occupational terms that meant this is the guy that hunts this. Like all these magical creatures, all the, you know what I mean? It's like the history of the world can be easily seen in the type of words that they use in the language. So that's why they're like, we got to get the Greek the fuck out of here. Nobody obviously studies it like that, but you can go to anywhere on YouTube and look up a classic Greek, classicist Greeks, or and you know, obviously you know you have to figure out a certain context. And dude, it's like there's so many different Greek words that mean these different things. Like even even like when you look up what the word, this is kind of a diet, but whatever. You look up what the word Ebru, you know what I mean? He, right? What that meant in Greek, it actually meant pirate, right? So right? It changed. It completely changes the context, right? Of whatever. As I'm saying, like it's beautiful when you start getting into it. But like I said, but I love like the fact that like you know they actually like have like this is a word for a guy that trains dragons. They have a word in there for a guy that trains dragons. A word in there for a guy that breeds dragons. A dragon breeder. They made this up just because they spent so much time telling fake stories, right? Yeah, the world has been characterized by war even during this time. In the middle of them, you know what I mean, you know, being at war, they had time to invent all these words to make that meant nothing to tell all these fake stories, right? Yeah, okay, you know. Anyways,
Yeah.
stuff like that is just hilarious, you know what I mean? So I like, at least as far as I know, like Latin was the first attempt to like get people off of Greek. So they made Latin, and then like you know that just didn't work, and so you have all these other languages that branched off of the Latin. You know.
Yeah. Greek is still winning, man. I mean,
Yep.
90%. We brought up Marvel earlier, but all that is just Greek mythology.
Exactly, and I'm glad that they admitted it right at the end of what was that, the last Thor, right, where they just brought in Zeus. They're like, all right, fine,
Yeah.
yeah, fine. It was Zeus the whole time, but like I did a stream on the channel called Prometheus. Hey, shout out Stoic. Uh, um, I did a stream on the channel called Prometheus, right, where I went through how all of these stories are the same story. And I could really extend that all the way to now. I mean, I could literally draw the thread from the original myth that existed way before Jesus existed. I mean, like the virgin birth, the 12 disciples. You feel me? Fulfilling the will of your father. You know what I mean? Dying and rising again. All of these, right, before Jesus, right, in the story of even before Chronos, but I'll just say like they predate Chronos, but then you have Chronos and then Zeus and then Prometheus, right? All of these are the exact same story, just being retold, repurposed, you know what I mean, to keep, without going too deep into the metaphor aspect of it, but the point is that they keep telling the same story. Now, what it means, I talk about that in the Prometheus stream, right? But that leads all the way up to, like I'm trying to tell you, Prometheus to, Horus, to, of course, Jesus, right? Even Buddha, right? The first comic book, Uberman, which eventually became Superman. I'm talking about the exact same, the thread leads all the way there, right? And remember I used to talk about how Sherlock Holmes, Batman, and Iron Man were the same person. You know what I mean? Like, dude. I mean, and I went deep with excuse me, last night when I was talking to Zay and them about it. But it's like it all leads. It's like all these stories are the exact same story. And there's
Yeah.
another animated that I ended up watching called The Butler, right? Which The Butler is literally just Batman, but it's Batman from as if the butler was Batman, right? And the kid was, but really it's a metaphor for the butler being him, but that childlike, you know what I mean, spirit still being in him because, he went through tragedy as a kid. And so he's like an adult kid anyways. But my point is that the very first episode of that, because it's really Batman, like I said, but it's Butler, and like I said, it's really Iron Man and Sherlock Holmes, and the actual story of it though is Sherlock Holmes. So it takes place in Old England, and it's Sherlock Holmes, but he's a Batman type character. But the very first episode of it is Alice in Wonderland. So they basically explain to you how that story that they're writing, The Butler, was inspired by Alice in Wonderland. So they show you how Alice in Wonderland is also Batman. I'm dead serious. Like I'm like, I was watching an anime series like randomly, and it's not even a big anime series. I'm just flipping through, and I see The Butler, and I'm like, or it's called Black Butler, not it's called Black Butler. I see it, I'm like, I read the thing, I'm like, oh, this seems interesting, and I put it on, and it's Batman, right? Like my favorite fucking movie. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's crazy that this is basically just Batman. And then again, like I said, like in the actual written version of it, the first episode is Alice in Wonderland. But in the show version, in the second season, they start off with Alice in Wonderland. They're letting you know, like, all of these characters are just different characters from Alice in Wonderland, and we're just taking these archetypes and making our own version of it in the setting of Batman. And I don't know, to me that was brilliant. It helped me connect the thread almost with like all these stories. You know what I mean? All the way leading back. You know what I mean? And like you said, it's like it could just be a coincidence, right? Or there's something deeper going on. I
I think
digress.
this kind of brings me
Going.
back. It brings me back to the Rick and Morty thing, and the specific episode where he's trying to get Morty out of. I believe he's stuck in the Roy machine, or he's stuck in one of those video games.
Yes.
At
Oh
Bliss
yeah,
and
yeah.
Chips.
The Die Hard episode. Very good episode.
Yeah. So the reason I bring that up is directly what you're talking about. Really, is like there's a mass continuation of like information being pushed nonstop, where it's like, okay, Jesus or the Jesus story or Moses or like all these stories that have been repurposed 9,000 times.
Yeah, you're talking about the part where he's saying like in every generation, every culture, they all develop their version of Die Hard. Is that what you're talking about? That part?
Basically, is what. Well, I don't remember that part of the episode, but realistically, I guess that's what I'm getting to. Is like how
Right.
much of it is somebody or something is trying to provide this message, and we're just too dumb to fucking understand it. So they have to repurpose it at about 32,000 ways
Yeah.
in order for us to digest it, or wake up, or whatever that metaphor may be.
You know what? I'm glad you said that because number one, that's the reason why I always leave the door open for people not necessarily being evil. You know, it's like you don't necessarily understand what somebody, you know, and that episode does represent that, right? Because he's in there trying to save Morty's dumbass, right? And it's like think about it, like the scene at the end of it with the president, right? Where he's like, it's like the president's like, you have to tell me you love me in order for me to let you save me. You know what I mean? And it's like, I resonate with that so much where it's just like, he's like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care. If I die here, fuck it. I don't care. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? You know, to me, it's you know, I resonate with that part, you know, very much like you're saying, because, you know, it's just the idea that, you know, like people, you know, could be working a job or they could be doing this, and that's their identity. You know, and I said this in the rap debate too. He's like, you're telling me that most Black Americans don't see themselves as Black? I'm like, most Americans see themselves as whatever their job is. Whatever they do in their job, they take it very serious. And they're going to talk your head off about that all day. If they work at the cleaner, in their mind, it's the United States of cleaners. You know what I mean? I'm dead. And you know what I'm talking about too. Is like you see people who work at a grocery store, they start telling you about shit. Like you're like, you really take this serious, don't you? You know, and so like it's like we get so caught up in that we lose sight of, you know, kind of the bigger picture, you know, and it's like that's that frustration in Rick of like, you know, I have to do this or else, you know what I mean, or else, you know, it's over. But it's like at a certain level, it's like, you know, it's like you said, I have to repackage it and purpose it for every single person and say it in a nice way. And at the end of the day, I'm doing it for you anyway. It's like, what's the point of this? You know what I mean? It really captures the essence of life, where it's like, at a certain level, it's like, it almost seems like it's a game and there's no point to it, you know?
Yeah.
Which it very may well be a game. There very well may be no point to it, you know?
I think the best way to handle it from here on out is really just like taking the idea of that fulfillment of physically like pushing something into existence. If that continues to be a real eventuality, I mean, I think that's the only way to like kind of live your life, is just really go, hey, I can create things. This might be the only thing I can control is my mindset, and just like kind of pushing, you know, on that route.
Dude, my favorite scene in The Magicians, right? Remember when, and you already know The Magicians is all about this. The Magicians is probably, to me, The Magicians is the most comprehensive version of this story, because they go in and you put me on this, and you already know it's like they make it real for you, right? And remember the scene when Quentin wants to heal his dad, right? And he's like, what's the point, right, of being you know, of having powers if we can't do good, if we can't just like snap our fingers and make that happen? And then, you know, whatever the professor's name, the black dude, he's like, listen, we fix what we can. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, like we don't have, he's like, I can either fix my hand or my eyes. You know what I mean? I chose to fix my hand, so I'm blind now, right? How come I can't fix my eyes? It is what it is. You know what I mean? I have the ability to fix my hands, so I start there. You know what I mean? Maybe eventually I'll get to but you know what I mean? It's like, the alternative is to quit. It's to not do anything and let it just be. You know what I mean? Like that's the point of that. It's like, okay, well, yeah, you can't fix the major thing. You can fix this little thing. That's why quitting is the most important part, and his job is what? The mender of tiny things. You know what I mean? It's like you don't gotta fix the major problems, you know what I mean, at once. Sometimes the major problems are fixed by fixing one tiny problem at a time. One tiny problem at a time. You know what I mean? I don't have to, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't have to believe I'm going to be a millionaire tomorrow. Maybe I just have to think it for 1 second at a time, right? Think it for 1 second at a time. You know what I mean? I may be able to imagine it for 1 second. You know what I mean? Like, that's not difficult, right? You know, anybody can do it for 1 second. All right, so now do it for 2 seconds and 3 seconds, you know? So it's like everything has that compounding effect where, you know, that's why, like I said, the propaganda is so strong because it steals your seconds away, right?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I could be lost in a thought for 2 minutes, 2 whole minutes. That's 120 seconds of time that I could have been using my power of focus to create and move toward what I want, but I use it on whatever, you know? Think about it. Even in Hunter x Hunter, they describe like the reason why the people who can use their powers because they don't waste their aura. That's it. They, you know, they're, which everybody has an aura. This is true, right? They have energy. Everybody has energy coming in and out of them. This is real. In the Hunter x Hunter, they're just saying like they found a way to just harness their energy. That's it. They focus it, and before they could even use it, they got to spend years meditating and focusing on how to keep their energy from seeping out of them, right? And like I said, this is what we're talking about right now with thoughts, right? Instead of spending time either doubting, right, which is what we're talking, or whatever it is, you know, how important is it to, you know, for them to, like I said, it's just, they just describe in their cartoon what people do in real life to become good at their craft, you know? So yeah, so like, you know, I think that it's important, that statement in Loki where they say, you know, technology is indistinguishable from magic, you know? I think that they're trying to let you know, like, listen, what is us FaceTiming right now if not magic, right? Like what
Yeah.
So it's like let's not that's just another barrier on us, right? Where we think that there are limitations on what's possible and what is not. And there obviously are none. You know, it's like, who could have predicted like Kai Cenat? Let's just think about the significance of somebody like Kai Cenat and why he's so important in society and how that even makes sense 20 years ago. You know what I mean? So it's like, look, anybody can create anything. You have no idea. And this is the last, I promise this is the last anime I'm gonna bring up tonight. Jujutsu Kaisen, right? Jujutsu Kaisen is basically just a guy who's a fan of Hunter x Hunter who added on to it with his own perspective. You know what I mean? So the way he delivers his power structure is the exact same thing, right? But just slightly different. And this, I think you'll like this. Instead of calling it aura, they harness their negative energy. That's straight up. Oh, cursed energy. That's it. Which is negative, you know what I mean? So the people who are the strongest are the people who are powerful are the people who had the worst lives. That's it. That's how they describe it. The people who had it the hardest, because they had it so hard, they can harness their cursed energy and then they turn it into powers. You see how they map it right on the reality, you know what I mean? But what they add to it though that is not in Hunter x Hunter is something called a domain, which is like, it's so important and in depth, and it makes it, but it's like, you know, because a lot of it is about fighting and stuff, right? So they're fighting using powers or whatever, and then they do something called a domain expansion, where they create a world that you have to live in, where they make the rules. You know what I mean? And the only way that you can survive that is you have to basically be as strong as them, right? You can create your own domain, right? Or you can, you know what I mean, or you can break out of there. But if you're weaker than them and you're trapped in their domain, then you play by their rules. They're describing society and government. You know what I mean? With that,
Yeah.
so it's like, but it's like people do that in the middle of a fight where it's like somebody does a domain expansion, but I'm stronger than you, so my domain is like, it has, you know what I mean? Like the Amish, right? The Amish domain is bigger or as strong as the government's. You know what I mean? And so whatever the rules of the government are has no bearing on them. Anyways, you know, like, to me, I'm like, of course, like, these are things that we see and we know, but I'm like, seeing it put in that form, I'm like, that's what it is, you know. And then again, of course, it comes from the power of them harnessing their negative energy. Instead of, when they get upset or emotional, whatever, instead of wasting it, they use it. That's the premise of the whole, you know what I mean? That's the, you know, and they really get into it emotionally in Jujutsu Kaisen. And Jujutsu Kaisen is a very emotional, bloody show. But they get into it like tears of people you know what I mean, crying about loved ones and watching their friends die right in front of them. And what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Are you gonna die too, or are you gonna harness that negative energy to become something greater? Very powerful.
That's the only thing we can do, I guess, is just take this crazy existence and try to explain it in a way that makes us feel better.
You know, I think at least us, you know, I think that we take comfort in that. You know, I take comfort in my domain being as strong as any other domain, if you will. You know, it's like there's nothing that I can't grasp, that I can't wrap my mind around, that I can't, you know, that I can't get with. And I believe, and you know, that's what I'm kind of getting at with the rap debate. You know, where I'm like, look, this is why everybody hates Black Americans specifically. You know what I mean? Think about it. Like, people hate Americans, right? But they all want to move to America. But everybody specifically hates a group of Americans. They don't like Black Americans. You know, like think about, we look at Africa as a whole continent, let alone a specific country and a specific people in those countries. I don't like light-skinned Ethiopians. That's how specific they're being. Think about it.
Yeah.
And it's because our domain is too strong. Like they went to Australia, took over, the Aborigines are done. They went to South Africa, and for a minute they had South Africa. In America, we never went down. We've always, you know what I mean? We've always been at the top. And even like, you know, the bombings of cities and war, it's like we've always been at the top of society. Whatever. It's like, you know, I talk about the Trail of Tears, on how they put the Trail of Tears on us, and then the Black ex-slaves took them to court and won. Oh, what, be an attorney? Okay, we do that. Oh, be a doctor? Okay, we do that. Oh, what? You know what I mean? It's like there's nothing you can throw at us that we don't just flip into something good, you know? And that is probably disheartening. You know, it's like, I'm trying to have sympathy. It's like, it probably sucks to be like, they came over here, and then it's like, wherever you want to pretend, you know what I mean? It's like, without even trying, you know what I mean? Black people are still the top of American society, you know, without even trying.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to, like, how do you convince some goofy motherfucker in the middle of the country that what he's seeing every day is not what it is? Like, and not saying that, it's just like when you watch the media, it's like, what are they giving you all day? It's like, it's hard not to fall into certain traps, you know. And if you're not a free thinker, which is, I would say, the majority of people aren't, it's just like the majority of people are told something and that's what it is. And for whatever reason, we have to live around those people. I spend a lot of my day like sitting here just, fuck, I have to go outside with people that, like, you go to like, bro, I go to Costco a lot, and the people there are just like, they're living a different existence than the rest of the world. Because you go to Winco, it's like, it's Winco is the watering hole in the Sahara, you know?
Right.
Costco is Wakanda. And it's just like, every time I go into Costco, but it don't matter how much money I got in my pocket, I feel rich. There's something about that place.
Yeah, no. Listen, man, like I said, you know, I could do the movie thing all day. Cause like every time I'm like, dude, the Hunger Games, Attack on Titan, I'm like, it's almost an exact, you know what I mean? It's like, it's a 1-to-1. Like, think about how rich the people in the Hunger Games were living compared to, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people miss that part. Like, that's a huge part. Like, the wealthy people, they were like we talking about like hundreds of years of generations of wealth. You know what I mean?
It's unfathomable. And we're sitting here like, it's actually comically funny sometimes, where it's like people are sitting here like trying to figure out the most basic like idea of survival, and then you have people that are literally just like have no concept of what money is because they have so much of it. And it's like, to each their own. I don't ever feel bad about it, because a lot of times I don't think a lot of people would even know what to do with the money, or have a concept of like, it's unattainable.
Well, and this is the thing, man. You know, it's like, you know, we know that that's fake, right?
You know,
Yeah.
I did an episode on of course on the Sabbatians in France. Oh no, you know what? The episode is called First Million, right? I did an episode on the first millionaire. You know, and you know, money is how they basically extract resources from people. You know, so it's not really like a real thing anyway. But if you've been watching Tim Dillon lately, you know he talks about Army Hammer all the time, and you know, Army Hammer is one of those people. Think about it. It's like, you know, he got in trouble for, you know, saying that he wanted to do explicit things to people. You know, like he wanted to,
Yeah.
you know, make a Saw movie in real life. You know, basically, and you know he's a rich actor. But think about it, we talking about 5 generations in of billionaire status. His family is, you know, and I didn't get it at first when whoever was talking about it, but when they said that his family owns a gallery on Wilshire, like you were talking about some of the most expensive real estate in the world. They just own a gallery there. Galleries don't make money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they just like obviously they own the land and they have the building on top of the land just for the sake of it, you know.
You know who else is a billionaire heiress? I didn't know. Julia Louis Dreyfus.
It makes sense. It makes
Yeah.
sense. You know.
It's just these people that just like you're like, oh, yeah, straight affluence their whole life. No concept of like I couldn't even imagine like just bumping into the people that like over time that you meet that have real money and the way they float around the earth is just it's incredible. Like there's literally like a level of lightness that they have that's
Hey,
I don't know how.
it's like the double split experiment. It's like they're not even there, and then they're there. You know. And I'm joking, right? But you know, fucking Jaden Smith actually said that about his sister one time. You know, like they're like, yeah, how's your sister doing? He was like, sometimes she's here, sometimes she's not. I swear to God, I was like, Jaden's not an idiot, man. You know, he's not an idiot. But he said it like that. He's like, yeah, you know, she exists on many planes. You know, he said sometimes she's present. You know what I mean? Sometimes she's not. I was like, damn, that's a
Do
real
you
brother
see
right
what
there.
do you see what Jaden does for his friends?
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, I don't
Don't
know.
tell me.
It's goofy, but he
Go ahead.
just no,
He
it's
buys
not
them
even
all a
that
new car
goofy.
every day.
It might as well have been. He makes them hand made furniture. I
Oh,
guess is the right word.
so he's making Marco.
He makes you a bed. He makes you like an ottoman. It's kind of
uh,
ingenious, honestly.
yeah, no,
I
I want to see what some handmade Jaden furniture looks like actually.
I guarantee it's fucking just. It's either the most comfortable thing you've ever sat in, or the
Or the
worst piece of
worst. Yeah,
furniture
literally the worst.
ever.
Yeah,
There's no in
yeah.
between. There's
Hey,
no
well,
fucking in
look,
between.
well, I will say that you know, there's tons like he's not Chet Hanks. You know what I mean by any
No,
means. This is why like you have to put respect on Jaden's name. His name is actually better in the streets than his father right now. You know what I mean? Like, you know, there's the rumors about him, of course, him and Tyler and shit, whatever. You know what I mean? But Jaden is consistently seen with bad bitches, regardless of what you think he done in his private time. He consistently seen with bad bitches. You know what I mean? And so he does business. You know what I mean? And he's an actor, he's a singer, and he doesn't fail at stuff. And of course, you know what I mean, he has it, but he's not. But so does Chet Hanks. You know what I mean?
yeah, I don't know. I was about to ask a really pause-worthy question, so I'm not going to. But I don't know if I would. Yeah, I being
Oh,
Will
so
Smith over being possibly gay Jaden is like that's a rough.
well, but Will Smith is definitely gay. I mean, come on now. By
Yeah.
now, I mean, I'm like, come on, you know. I'm not, okay.
After he
Okay.
said
Listen,
that thing,
I'm joking. Go ahead. Go ahead.
he did say that he had too much sex and it made him
Look,
what is
man.
it, physically ill? I'm just not rich enough to understand that, I guess. I'm just not. I don't want to be, but
Hello,
I'm like,
hello, you there?
yeah, that
You
shit
know,
is crazy, bro.
look, man, I'm look to each their own. Okay, you know what I mean. You know, they get down. But hey, you know, last night people were saying that when Drake, that this is a real story. I don't know if it is, but it's what they said last night. All right, they said that Drake's house got robbed. When Drake's house got robbed, the people came in and saw somebody folded up like a pretzel. And it was
Hell
Odell.
no.
They said Odell Beckham was in there, folded up. So I don't know. I don't be on those. I don't be on the news cycle like that. But
Not
yeah,
good, man. That's all I gotta say about that. Not fucking good.
yeah. No, I know you probably got to work early, bro. So I'm gonna let you get some rest, man. Hey,
Oh
but
yeah,
now that
man.
now that you got the setup, bro, we can jump on anytime. You know what I mean? Like whenever you feel like it.
Yeah,
You know,
no,
like the
definitely.
StreamYard thing is easy. And then if we want to look at videos and stuff, but we already went through how to do that shit real quick. You know what I mean? So it's pretty easy to
Yeah,
go back and forth.
I'm gonna figure out the whole setup playing with this thing too. I feel like we can get it going for real. So
Yeah,
this was
definitely.
definitely a good test run and just a good feeling it out. I definitely want to get to the point where we're like, because with OBS, I'm
Yeah,
moving
the
back and
layouts are
forth between the scenes, and like I can be like,
exactly
oh, I need to pull this up real quick. Boom, I hit a button and it's up. And
right,
with
right.
this, I'm definitely limited.
Yeah. No, it's literally just like you can just switch back and forth between. Yeah, so that's what I said. I'm like the creativity on OBS is killing it. Shout out DJ Overtime. Shout out Zev. Shout out Stoic. Shout out Mustafa, JLD, and of course all the Ghost Watchers. You know what I mean? I appreciate you guys for tuning
Yeah,
in. You know, of course,
no,
for those of you, that are um, just hearing about Tyson for the first time, if you go look at the oldest videos on this channel, you'll see the oldest videos on this channel are me and Tyson. So this has always been our channel. As a matter of fact, he was the one that even came up with this idea. So this whole thing is his idea. And so go follow him at But I'm Real though, right on Instagram.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. Go
This is
follow him
just a
at But I'm
start,
Real.
man.
Yeah,
We're just getting started.
yeah, as everybody knows, it's like this whole thing has been a free for all. You know what I mean? Whereas you've been trying stuff out to kind of see what works and what doesn't work. As we have time, he may come on here, you feel me, and do some stuff. I come on here and do some stuff, and then sometimes we come on here and do some stuff together. So everybody support, like, share, like a motherfucker. All right, help us hurry up and get to this goddamn 1,000, so we can start getting some ad money in this bitch.
Hell yeah, you guys appreciate it, and everybody have a good night.
Yes, sir. Yep, you too, my brother. I appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah.